All right. So, ladies and gents, welcome to game number one. In this show match, there will be 5 games played, and you are currently looking at Hidden Cup 4 Arabia. If you watched Hidden Cup 3, the map was a little bit closed off. Also, back then, it was a lot easier to wall. So, yes, this is a 5 games played show match. I have no clue of what I'm doing with uploads just yet to YouTube, but we got MbL and Liereyy. Both players are confirmed to be playing in Hidden Cup 4 main event. Eventually, they'll get a hero username that we give them. I won't know who is who. You guys won't know either. And they won't even know who they're going to be playing when that event rolls around. March 18th through the 21st. And MbL has started it off with the Tatars. Liereyy started off with Chinese. And keep in mind, laming is allowed in Hidden Cup. And we're using Hidden Cup settings. And MbL is coming forward already. I can't see the board. He's actually running in towards the enemy TC. And he will dodge that and just take a little bit of damage there. So, yeah, we're casting with Capture Age right now. Liereyy, MbL, 5 games. Will MbL be tempted to take a board? This is his reputation. Game 1 in a freaking show match. And MbL's like, that board is going to be mine. You've got to be kidding me, man. Game 1 in a freaking show match. So here he goes. And I don't know if he's going to be able to pull this off. Lierey's going to try and block off the boar. And clearly, MbL has come to play here today. And this is something that he's so known for. And he just rarely fails these situations. My goodness, you guys are saying overlay. I don't know why you guys are saying overlay. Oh, the scoreboard's up. My bad. I can fix that. But will MbL be able to bring this boar back without losing his scout? His scout is dangerously low. He's also very close to his base. And Lierey's running back and forth, but MbL is just, he's like, nope, you're not going to have a boar this game. Now, if he's able to get this boar, he will have additional food long term. And that means that not only will he have the food, and Liereyy will not have the food, but then he's Tatars, so he gets even more food long term because his sheep will last longer. And that is MbL right there to a T. We are, mainly because of MbL, to be honest, going to be making many tweaks to maps and whatnot. We literally, we went into the scripting of the maps thinking we want to allow laming, but we want to make it as difficult as possible. That boar was pretty far forward there. Not something that I think was part of our plan. And MbL's like, yeah, you guys got to look at that one, man. He's so good with laming. You could see that he didn't have much idle TC time either. He had 3 seconds of idle TC time while Liereyy had 24. So now Lierey's got to change up his game plan a little bit. Lierey's going to come back home. And now keep in mind, he's got that full HP scout to work with. He's going to push in some deer to get food. And he might need to seed some farms that otherwise he was not planning on. The thing about Hidden Cup is that, well, there's a lot of aspects of Hidden Cup which is different from other tournaments, right? We know that much. But the one thing about preparing in Age of Empires is that half the time it's preparing for the man, right? And what I mean by that is, let's say Huang makes it into Hidden Cup 4. We'll see if he can make it through the qualifiers. I kind of doubt it. But in some crazy world where Huang makes it into the main event, you can't prepare for the frustration you're going to face when you play against a player who's going to Huang rush you. Or MbL, for example. You can't, not only do you not know who you're up against, and you don't know how they're going to play the game and what style they're going to play, but you can't mentally prepare for the frustration that might set in if you lose a board 3 minutes into the first game, right? And so, some players are going to lame, some players are going to not, some players are going to wall, some players are going to not. It's a crazy thing for mentally, I think, for players to not know what to prepare for. Because in other tournaments, you know, okay, this person does this thing, and I just have to expect it, and then you can spend all week preparing and thinking about it. MbL's got so much food, and this looks like he's going to try Drush Fast Castle, something that was popular a year ago. I'm not sure it's the go-to strategy nowadays. It's certainly good with Tatars, but you see him making the barracks. Or wait, am I wrong on this? He's getting loom. He's going to gold. Okay, I lied. Never mind. I think he's just going to have a ton of freaking food, and he's going to go up to feudal age. And we click up to feudal age MbL. Yep, there he goes. Okay. Let me look over here at Lierey's base. It looks like a scout build for Liereyy. If it's okay with you guys, as Lierey's still at home, I'm just going to go in here and just real quickly change this. No. We don't want to best up anything, actually. Play all 5. Perfect. Why is it saying, you know what? No scoreboard. I don't want to deal with that. I don't know why I was saying John Slow and Doubt when this is clearly not John Slow and Doubt. I casted them a few days ago. I'll do that after the game. You guys will just have to deal with it for now. It's like, nope, I'm finished. Now, walls are not more expensive than they were back in March of 2020. But it takes longer to wall. And walls also have less HP in the Dark Age. MbL, he's like, oh, it takes longer to wall? Wall villager, wall villager, wall villager, wall villager. He's going to wall a bunch. And he just needs to send more villagers away from his eco to wall up. And that's the way he sees it. Liereyy, he doesn't know what MbL's going to do, which is slightly concerning, right? Like, he's looking around here. He does not see the barracks. And this could surprise him. But on the bright side, his name is Liereyy. And not that his name has anything to do with it. He's very good when it comes to reacting in crazy situations. And also, the scout gets through. So again, back in March, when that other hidden cup happened, this would have been full walled already. But it's a little bit more risky to go for those early walls. And Liereyy is going to try and take out this villager. And he will take out the villager. And MbL actually just decided to get some hits in the palisade. So he could at least finish this with another vill. So Liereyy loses the boar to MbL. MbL confirmed. Of course, we know it's him. Here comes MbL, and Liereyy does not have the scout in position to know what MbL's doing right now. And it looks like a straight-up macro approach for MbL. He hasn't followed this up with an archer range or anything. He's just going for crazy walls. And let's see, there's actually 3 villagers on this side. Liereyy could lose a lot. This is Lierey's point of view. Will he be able to react to this? I mean, he's reacted all right, but MbL will usually block this villager and kill this villager. And whoa, Liereyy with the play. And now he's going to block with this villager. And oh my god, Liereyy, that was so high level, man. I mean, game 1 of just a fun little show match. Of course, there's money on the line. And still, both players have had some epic plays. MbL with the lame and Liereyy right there, using his full HP villager to save this weak one. I think Liereyy, he won't love his position, but he'll certainly like his position, having taken out MbL's scout. He didn't lose a villager, and MbL did. He actually has 4 scouts already out, and he could pounce on this before MbL gets the spear forward. And MbL, he comes forward with this spearman. Will just end up losing it. Liereyy engages on that, and he'll lose all the man-at-arms as well. What a great opening for Liereyy. Do you guys remember who Liereyy lost to in Hidden Cup 3? It was probably, if we look back, and I'm making a video on this, is probably one of the best sets of Age of Empires I've ever seen, and certainly one of the best in Hidden Cups. It was Tato, and the score was 3-2, crazy best of 5. I think that game, that series had, as MbL adds more man-at-arms. What in the world? This is unique. I think that game had the game of the tournament on Cup. It was King Alfonso and Joan the Maid. I'm sure you guys might remember the names at the very least. I'm making a top 10 Hidden Cup games video, as well as some other top 10 videos to get people excited and just remind them what went down. Yeah, Vikings versus Celts. It was that prepared strategy. I think the game went on for a very long time. Almost to the point where players didn't have a lot of gold remaining. Beefy says, as someone with mild color blindness, please have the players pick more distinctive colors. Yeah, the players are weird like that. They don't care about you. I'm sorry. Unfortunately, with Capture Age, I can't change it in-game. That will be something that we'll address come Hidden Cup, but for now, I can only apologize. You can't see anything. Do you want me to zoom in? Here you go. How's this sound? Is this better? Does this help the people with color blindness? Here we have MbL in the green. And here in the yellow, you can see, oh wait, there's a farm. I think a farm's green too. I'm sorry. There we go. Look at those muscles. Look at those traps, man. Well, this will come down to what the uptime is. This is really weird from Liereyy. I guess he wasn't expecting MbL to have a follow-up. But Lierey's going to try and save this villager with quick walls. And MbL knows the quick walls are going to be incoming, so he's splitting up his forces. And you basically got to keep clicking. Like, you never want a full-on attack with one. Yeah, you see how he's doing this? Oh, my God. Liereyy, you're an animal. What in the name of... Wow, Liereyy, that was impressive. But yeah, like, MbL was doing the right thing there. And he was making sure that he was going to be very close to the action and very close to the villager, so there was no separation. And Lierey's like, well, I'm just going to build a house with her now. The other villager was saved. He'll have a few ranged units come out to cancel this out in a second. But what I find fascinating here, at least MbL was able to kill the deer. is that Lierey's going into skirmishers, and MbL hasn't even... Well, now he's adding a range, but it hasn't really shown that he wants to go for archers and feudal age. I think more than anything, what this is going to be from MbL is probably cav archer play. Again, something that's relatively new to our scene, and even as new as a month or two ago, right? We did not see that last Hidden Cup either. But to the people just coming into this stream, this is all 5 games played, $200 on the line, and they're just playing. They're playing on their main accounts. Of course, we know who they are, unlike Hidden Cup. But tonight, the qualifier bracket will be made. There's a lot of big names looking to qualify to face up against these two and the other top 8 in the main event. And so we'll have a couple weeks of qualifiers basically starting this week. All right. I don't think someone asking me to change the colors, like nicely asking me to change the colors, makes them come off as spoiled babies, cemetery gates. I think saying spoiled babies is a little extreme. At the same time, I can't always use team colors if there are people, like, you know, if there are people who struggle. So this is just, unfortunately, not something I have in my control right now with the Capture Age program. So MbL with 2 ranges. Tatars get Thumb Ring for free. And he has a stable here as well. And Lierey's like, hey, dude, what are you doing, man? You took my boar. You went Man-at-Arms and Spearman. That's certainly unique. Like, what on earth is the plan here? I like how MbL made the stable forward, because it might make Liereyy think that MbL is going to use that stable for a lot of knights, when in reality, we can see that MbL's... He might make a knight or 2, but he's probably just going to commit to cav archers. He's even going for 3 ranges. So Lierey's going to go 2 stables and 1 range. And Liereyy, I mean, it's pretty expensive to get Elite Skirm and to make knights. So Liereyy might go knights mainly against a player trying to mass cav archers. But the big thing to remember in general when it comes to cav archers versus anything but cav archers is that I feel as though since you can only start making it in the Castle Age, if you're later to the Castle Age, it can really set you back a little bit. Lierey's going to have some time here to pressure and annoy MbL just because of his superior macro. This is all after Liereyy lost to Boar. So is Laming OP? Can be strong in some situations. We've seen plenty of examples where it has been strong over the years. But Lierey's been able to show, like, it's part of the game, and we can, you know, you can certainly deal with it. Monastery now for MbL, and I think he's expecting the pressure to come in here, and he really should. Lierey's skirmishers could just stop the wall villagers from doing too much. Lierey's actually opened up with camels. Now, Chinese are just a 6 civilization. They're easily one of the best civs in the game on land maps. Easy top 3, in my opinion. And there might be some debate on who else is in that top 3, but Chinese, I think, are still going to be there. MbL, and maybe he's got a civilization that's also in that top 3, depending on how you see it. But, you know, it certainly has not been a confident start for MbL. MbL getting armor for his knights and massing cav archers still. It'd be very like MbL, and also, is Liereyy attacking a piece of wall where he can break in? Okay, yeah, he is. But it'd be very much like MbL to just wait in here, try and get a conversion, play defense, and then go into a counterattack. But Lierey's already on a 2nd town center at home. You can see how many villagers he has. He's got a lead there. But Liereyy will need to back away from this. He does have that scout in there. We'll try and take out the monk. That's not going to happen. Shouldn't happen anyways. MbL, was he able to get a conversion there? I just missed that. Maybe he didn't get a conversion. Liereyy with this crazy pressure, and when you play against Liereyy, it's just so incredibly smothering. Regardless if it's Empire Wars, like the Red Bull tournament we saw recently, or this here. Liereyy will even be on 3 TCs, but MbL does have one of the best all-in pressure civilizations in our current meta with these cav archers. Like, you get to a certain ball of cav archers, Lierey's going to have some problems. Good thing for Liereyy, though, is that he's able to get elite skirm and still have some of these skirmishers remaining. This is where that TC will be. I honestly don't like this TC. Whoa, he also didn't have his pigs? Dang, man. He didn't have a lot of food in feudal. Yeah, I honestly feel as though this TC could maybe be over here to protect the woodline more. But, you know, Liereyy has not had as much focus on walling. It's been more so about controlling the game with military with a little bit of walls with it. T90, many players are facing lags after this new update. Did you hear about it? I have not heard any high-level players saying they're having any issues in 1v1s. I've had people say they're struggling in team games. I know that's kind of been a consistent theme, though, for DE in general, right? Even classic Age of Empires in general, team games were kind of messy, so... But yeah, as far as 1v1 goes, high-level players, I haven't heard too much yet, but it's still relatively new, right? Project Belgium says, as a rep for high-level players, I say we don't have a lot of lag, smiley face. Well, smiley face is in chat. You heard it here, folks. No lag. The game is perfect. I like the value Lierey's been able to get from his units in this game. He's been able to keep so many of his units alive. And he has that eco lead, and he's basically now in a position where he has to try and hold and defend, and MbL's got to put that pressure on. Lierey's already, as MbL misses the monk twice there, MbL already kind of in a spot where he needs to do damage fast, and he'll know that. And he's been able to take out a few camels there, and MbL also has some monks. So I feel as though, I mean, it's Liereyy, right? There's a level of confidence you have to have in him when he's in these spots, but I do feel as though MbL's got some potential if he gets a few conversions, if he uses the knights against the skirms. Liereyy almost seems to be buying time running over to the left, so the front of his base isn't threatened. That's interesting. MbL should get one conversion. Does get one conversion, I think. Sorry. The colors are even bothering me right now. Now he's backing away with the Cav Archers, and yes, Thumb Ring is free, but does he have enough Cav Archers right now? Liereyy, he doesn't even have many upgrades on the camels, and he just doesn't seem to care. And Lierey's just all over MbL. Checking the HP on these camels for you. There's a couple weak ones in there, but nothing too crazy. Yeah, the old version of Cap Trade, whatever color I would have in my game, I could have in the game. So I would probably go for something like red and blue instead of green and yellow. The other thing that's weird within, shoot, what's it called? Within Hidden Cup is Liereyy, for example, tends to pick green a lot. So like, we actually factor in the colors in Hidden Cup, and there were players who would pick yellow who were not Viper. And so you also, do we want to in the main event of Hidden Cup be changing colors? 68 villagers for Liereyy, and he's even got that nice little hill in front of his base. It's crazy though with Chinese cheap technologies what you're able to do. It really is just so clean when you get to the mid game. Look at the blacksmith upgrades he's had to get. He's got full skirmisher upgrades, and he's made all these camels out of 2 stables, and he's booming, so we shall see. MbL on 3 TCs as well, but he was later to that. I still think there's potential for him, but it's getting more and more difficult because what would you make against this amount of skirmishers? Like, those skirms are about to have full ups. They're missing ballistics, but you don't really need to prioritize that if you're just defending. Like, it's it's an awkward spot to be in because you'd probably make knights to take out the skirms, but then you make knights and you're going into camels. S6 for the win. Yeah, it's not that easy, right? You're gonna have to go to stone. You're gonna have to get a castle. You're gonna need to get upgrades. That, when you need to do damage right now, is not really a great way to look at it. And what you could do is you could just switch the point of attack. Lierey's been waiting, and Liereyy, almost like he was expecting it, built an outpost here, was making some houses, even realizing he's exposed on this side, had the stone wall prepped. Units run away, and he's still sitting at home, and I think Lierey's just going to boom towards Imp here. You go Light Cap. Light Cap's still like an option that dies. I think you could maybe go... You could go Knights and Cav Archers, but that time window is probably going to hit right around the time Lierey's going to hit Imp, because you need to have a lot of them, and you need to have a lot of upgrades. Because Cav Archers can easily take out lots of camels. Knights can easily take out lots of skirmers. But Liereyy is just going to sit and wait. Hold on to his lead. Lierey's looking good, man. If you guys had to guess how many ranked 1v1s Liereyy has played in the last 15 months, what would your guess be? Ranked 1v1s. How many games did he play? Someone said 500. That's a fair guess. Someone said 150, 300, 600, 700. He's played 350. Compare that to like MbL, who I think has played over 2,000 ranked games. And then Hera, who I think is second place in the top 10, is like 1,500, 1,800 games ranked 1v1s. Lierey's just like, okay, it's time for a tournament. Okay, let's go win. Let's show up and play. It's pretty incredible. And people could give him crap for it when he wasn't winning tournaments, but this year he's finally been able to get some wins. And as I mentioned, this would be that moment for MbL to force a fight. It's only going to get more difficult from here as Lierey's on his way to Imp. There is number 1 on the ladder right now. That's kind of my point, though. The ladder doesn't matter at the high level, except for staying fresh, right? Like, going into Hidden Cup 3, I think... No, Hidden Cup 2? I forget. Anyways, Viper's notorious for being 10th on the ladder and then winning tournaments. You know, he plays for fun. But it is a good indicator of form, right? A very good indicator of form. So it's not useless, but for the most part, especially since people make content nowadays, people... you know, it's a good thing to do for viewers and all that and have a good time, motivate yourself. So MbL's also on the way to Imp, so instead of trying to pressure this ball, which honestly seems impossible, he's going to back up. And Lierey's just going to work towards more castles. Castle on this hill would be beautiful. How many relics does he have? 4 relics already for Liereyy, and he even knows where this one is. This is incredible. Look at this. If this was Hidden Cup, this would be an amazing way to start off a tournament. You can see his scouting here. He's virtually everything. He's out macroed, out microed, auto everything. He'll have 5 relics. Old Liereyy would never get relics. It's definitely a change he's made this year. I think, unfortunately, MbL just kind of set up playing so defensive. And, well, he did lame, right? He got his lame in, and it was a successful lame. But after that, I think he was trying to... He was playing too passive. It was man-at-arms into a few spearmen and feudal, and that's it. Could have gone for scouts. Could have gone scouts and archers. Could have done a bit more. He was getting heavy camel. He's getting plate barding. He's getting chemistry. Camel skirmish is still going to be just as strong. But it's going to be with upgrades now. Ooh. Lierey's playing a lot like Yo now. I wouldn't say they're very comparable. Bone Zone. I mean, all the high-level players do a lot of similar things. But I wouldn't necessarily say that, you know, the play I see from Liereyy right now reminds me of Mr. Yo too much. I think Liereyy, he's made some changes with the small things. He's always been a player who struggled with getting relics and taking extra golds. And he finally realized, I'm losing too many games that I shouldn't lose because of not doing those small important things. And as he attacks MbL's Imp TC, which will MbL will make it to Imp. Lierey's just all over the place right now. MbL in big trouble here, and he even needs to wait for his Cav Archer upgrades. I mean, this is just bad. Lierey's a beast. 160 population for him, 140 for MbL. What's MbL doing with his army? Well, he can't fight. He can't fight. Camels counter him and Elite Skirms counter him, and they have upgrades. So he has to wait at least till he gets Bracer. Camels taking out town centers. And then here comes Trebuchet. Did that Trebuchet miss? Thank God he has camels, because apparently the Treb's not going to take out buildings. There you go. Like, how does the Trebuchet miss that archer range there? I think in an ideal world, you have something like Hussar and Halberdier alongside your Cav Archers if you're Tatars. And Liereyy, with all the relics in the world, all the map control in the world, will be happy to just stick around here because he can make more reinforcements. He's even taking MbL's stone right now. Did notice he's got a neutral gold in this corner, but MbL also has got one in this corner, so that's kind of spread out evenly, and MbL's on that. MbL somehow come back. I call him the cockroach of AoE, but this would be quite a freaking comeback and quite a throw from Liereyy, as he's now going to drop another castle right here. But Chinese are just, they're disgustingly strong. Definitely one of the best picks for land maps, as I've stated. The next map, I think I have the next map as Cross, right? So Chinese wouldn't be as strong there. I think MbL might go for Huns. Liereyy might go for Japanese in the next one. But again, Camel's not the best tool to take out town centers. Lierey's doing so anyways, waiting for MbL to take a fight, and MbL's just researching Silk Armor. So I guess he's thinking that if there's ever a chance, maybe getting Silk Armor technologies with the Tatar Cav Archers would allow me to do it. The Tatar Cav Archers are extremely tanky. And then Silk Armor also affects their light cap, right? But MbL's got 12 on food. I don't think light cap's super realistic. And he's fighting with this big ball of gold units. And I still think Liereyy can take an engagement that's favorable. This is the problem with Cav Archers if you don't have control of the game. Because Cav Archers, you hit and run. If you're behind, you're hitting and you're running back into your base. It's an issue. You're not going to have control because you need to have a ball in one spot, whereas Liereyy can spread out. See this? A few units here, a few units here, lots of castles. Very much like MbL. He said he just got on his computer, so he's going to iron out the kinks in his play and just warm up a little bit here. But I don't think there's any way that Liereyy could possibly lose this game. I also don't think he needs to do much more except maybe add rams. Siege rams would be pretty cool here. You could also go Cavalier if you want to raid a bit more, but I think to save your gold, you go light Cav. T90, do you think Cav Archers need a buff on reloading speed? No, I don't think so. They just did that recently, right? Cav Archers have looked stronger, at least. Cav Archers are a really tricky unit to balance because it's tanky and it's mobile and they do a lot of damage. So you don't want to buff them too much because then that's the only thing that people ever make. I think Cav Archers are in a really good spot right now. So this is as desperate as it gets from MbL. He knows he's way behind. So here he goes. He's going for a counterattack. But what does he run into? A castle. Meanwhile, this is his main force. So he's getting pushed at home. Liereyy, I can guarantee you what Lierey's saying right now. He's like, resign! Resign. The Doubt made Cav Archers great again. Yeah, maybe we'll see someone make longswords great again another tournament, but it certainly wasn't Red Bull. Doubt showed people how good Cav Archers can be in certain spots. And MbL in this position, for example, it wasn't really the spot to go Cav Archers. I think the way I've seen it play out, as MbL slowly dying, is that... Oh, there's a Keshik for the person who said Keshik. I think the Cav Archers make sense if you're able to be in Castle Age faster than the enemy. Because then you have time to mass them. But if you don't have the time to mass them, then other compositions are going to be able to push you in early castle, and that can make all the difference. And game one here, Liereyy, quite honestly, just destroyed with Chinese against Tatars. I mean, both players are just experimenting with the settings and everything right here, but I don't think you guys realize how easy Liereyy made that game look. Granted, MbL didn't have his best game, but MbL stole a boar, and also Liereyy didn't have 2 pigs. So he was minus 550 food with a Chinese start and was still able to do everything that he did in this game. That was beautiful. All right, so I'll worry about the scoreboard myself. We'll quickly go to the statistics. Let me just speak to the players. Looks like they're about to launch the next game. And the next game will be on Cross. We also made some tweaks to Cross, and we might make some additional tweaks, but I don't think we'll make too many changes for Hidden Cup yet. But yeah, there's the food count, the wood count, the stone count, the gold count. Liereyy had in every category there. And he had 96% of the map scouted. He had 2,500 gold from just the relics and would have had more if that game continued. Does Liereyy go to college, or is that why he doesn't play as much ranked compared to other pros? Liereyy plays Dota. He plays a lot of Dota. So he probably games as much as everyone else, but he just doesn't play Age all day. And then when it's time for a tournament, he'll try and get in shape and practice, and then he'll show up. So I think with Liereyy, it's more so the fact that he doesn't want to sink 8 to 10 hours in. So he plays other games. What is Dota? It's a car racing game. I might tilt a few people saying that that's not true. All right, let me get the scoreboard going here. But yeah, welcome in everyone. Everyone I can see in chat, hello, and thanks for showing up today. We'll have all 5 games played. It's basically $40 per win here. And Morg and Elliot went crazy with gifted subs. So thank you guys. Thank you, Captain. Thank you, LeBurner. And I actually can't get to all of you just yet because I think the next game started. So yeah, Dota is basically like present day Club Penguin. That's all it is. All right, I didn't ask them to change the colors, but they did change the colors. This isn't much better, but it is a little better. So hopefully this helps people who are having issues with the colors. Freaking players, man. But let's go into game number 2. There's the score, and this is what Hidden Cup 4 Cross looks like. Now let's talk about changes. Actually, hold on. Let's not talk about that just yet. In the blue, we have Liereyy. Liereyy is playing as the Japanese. In the green, we have MbL. MbL is playing as the Huns. This is Cross. I know that if you load up Age of Empires 2 DE, and they call it 4 Lakes, but they essentially took the map Cross and then renamed it to something else. In Hidden Cup, we have changed some things, though, so I'll just break it down. Hidden Cup 3, we had that cross in the middle, which we've since removed. And in Hidden Cup 3, we had 5 relics on the map. 1 was in the middle, and then 4 were in the corners. So we still have the relics in the corners. And I kind of like this because it changes up the gameplay a little bit. But truthfully, we realized it's a lot of focus to get out here to get these relics. So we didn't want that to be the only spot there's relics. So we have 1 relic in each corner, which you have the transport to. We also have 4 relics in the middle, which you can see. And we also made it, instead of having 2 3-tile golds as neutrals throughout the map, we have 4 2-tile golds. So for example, 2-tile gold, this is an extra. 2-tile gold, this is an extra. This is an extra. This is an extra. So there's more areas to get gold, but there's just as much gold on the map, if that makes sense. Now the focus on this map is to take control of the ponds. I would consider a pond not a lake personally. It's not that big, and so we'll probably see that. And I love MbL to death, but I think this Showmatch is going to be some good lessons for him as far as civs go. I'm curious to see what Huns will do here, and Huns certainly I'd probably still have in my top 6 or top 7, but I think Japanese are definitely the better civilization here, at least with the way Liereyy likes to play it. But I'm curious on how Cross will look with a walling change, because it takes a lot longer to wall now since the last time we've seen Cross in a tournament. So it's not like you can just win water and wall up. T90 isn't 8 relics a lot for a map to have? It is. But if you think of the civilizations that tend to be picked for this map, it's not Aztecs and it's not Lithuanians. So I think Lithuanians you might see some people draft Lithuanians with some interesting strats, so they're able to take a relic or 2 from a pond. But I think there was only 1 instance in all of Hidden Cup 3 qualifiers and all of Hidden Cup 3 main event where players actually took the relics in the corners, which is why we were okay with adding them in the middle. So, you know what I mean? Like, if everyone was getting the relics out of the ponds anyways, which is a lot of work, you have to have the dock already, have the control already, then you need the transport, then you need the monastery, then you need the monk, put the monk into the transport, put it over here, ungarrison the monk, garrison, pick up the relic, garrison again, garrison back. Like, there's a lot of actions you have to do to get 1 relic. And so players just weren't doing it too frequently. Sorry to describe the steps there, but it's important for you guys to realize just how much work it ends up taking. But we'll see. We will see. Oh, boy. MbL, that's so sloppy, man. What were you think? Wow. Okay, so Liereyy. I mean, MbL was in the prime position there to be able to complete his dock. But he didn't have a lot of HP on the Palisades, and Liereyy just went boink and boinked it. Now MbL has to send another villager out here to finish the dock. Not the end of the world, truthfully. But it does delay his fishing ship slightly. Over here, Liereyy was already on 1 fishing ship and will be on 2 shortly. At T90, will we ever see the return of pants? I don't know what you speak of, Fakfir. What's a pants? We do have a map called Bay, but it's not too similar to pants. We will see Bay today. Right, boar getting brought in here. Capture H, man, some of the noises are a little different than the actual game, which is kind of funny. Looking at the rest of the maps, I think that Lierey's got a pretty decent map, right? He's got his berries in the back. He could wall here a little bit. See him getting some walls down. Not full walls, but Japanese, with their cheap lumber camps and cheap mills, it's so nice. And then the fishing ships. Japanese feel so good on this map. And since you save all that wood on the mills and the mining camps and the lumber camps, you can afford a barracks to go something like man-at-arms, maybe. Whereas other civs can't normally afford to do that too easily. Nice thing about Huns, as we see MbL click up, is that Huns don't have to build houses, and so their mid-game is so incredibly strong and fluid. Their cav archers are dirt cheap. Their stables produce faster, so if they're not behind an early castle, and that's truly just the theme when you're up against Liereyy in general, because he tends to get ahead early. But yeah, anyways, if you're able to have the lead in early castle, it's really hard to come back against Huns. Also suits MbL because he gets housed all the time. MbL confirmed if you see someone get housed in Hidden Cup. Smackda, yeah, Huns don't need houses, so it's not a bug to have him with max of 200 population. All right, so here come the militia. I'm going to check MbL's Fog of War. Did he scout that barracks? He did not scout the barracks. He scouted the area, but he does not know about that. He's going to gold, and is he going to sneak a villager, or is he just going to go into archers here? I think he's going to build a barracks, and he's going to try and open up with archers. Whereas Lierey's going to go from men-at-arms into archers, which just feels so much better, right? I also see Liereyy sending a villager to the left. That's an important element of this map, is to send villagers over to the other pawns. MbL's scout is going to be stronger here. He hits feudal age 1 vil faster. And so he will get some good hits in on Lierey's scout here. Liereyy will lose HP. And what sucks for Liereyy is that even though he won't lose his scout because he's got the militia, MbL will now know that the militia are there, and he'll have the opportunity to quick wall. Now, honestly, good work from MbL here before Liereyy hits feudal. And there's a palisade. Here's a gate. And he can't actually... This is funny. As he kills the scout, what a play from MbL. He actually can't garrison inside his TC. He doesn't have any villagers there. But Liereyy, just on instinct, is not going to want to go near that. So MbL had to pull a villager back to garrison. But you could honestly, if you have men-at-arms, you could consider diving in those situations. I've seen it once or twice. I also tried that once and completely lost everything. Like, he had his vills behind, right? And threw his vills in. I lost 4 men-at-arms that way once. So, oh, man. Okay, MbL with another gate. Liereyy trying to run in. And I think this is a mistake from Liereyy, and he's been trapped by MbL. And again, there's not that many villagers inside of the town center, so Lierey's just going to walk right through. So from a trap to, well, not really. And Liereyy gets past anyways. I think Liereyy will benefit from this more. He has a lot of control at home right now. MbL will have some archers, though, and I don't see any shenanigans on the pawns just yet. Oh, I do see shenanigans! Oh, no! MbL's gonna hate his life right now. He's just spread out his fishing ship so he could see if Liereyy had docked him. And so now his fishing ship has scouted the fact that there is indeed an enemy dock over there. And so now he has to defend his pond. And he hasn't made anything yet, so I think Liereyy will have a massive lead there. Sneaky move from Liereyy to loop the whole way around. I thought he was going to go over here. Second longest commitment I've had apart from my fiance. Well, that's not bad, Harry Hausa. Thank you. Hope you guys are doing good. Liereyy just going into skirms now, man. Liereyy is... What do you think, chat? Is Liereyy one of your favorites to win Hidden Cup 4 when the time rolls around in a month? He's looking strong in this show match. The forward berries really hurts MbL, but then again, he hasn't done a lot to really secure it in this game. He's just opened up with the defensive range. And it's just the way he's able to... He's so smothering with his pressure, right? His units are always in the right spots. Sneaky dock means that he'll be able to at least combat on water. MbL's going to try and take out this vill and will take out the villagers. So well played, MbL. And again, I come back to Liereyy getting ahead, MbL defending, and what I had said earlier. I don't know why I'm so burpy today. About how Huns probably don't want to fall behind heavily in this matchup. Zeep says this Hidden Cup is going to be all about Tato. He needs to win a tournament, so bang, so good. Tato performed really good in Hidden Cup. Hidden Cup 3, that is. Whereas Hidden Cup 1 and 2 wasn't the strongest, so... Then again, with the hidden seeding, I think he was up against Mr. Yo in round 1 of Hidden Cup 2. And I don't really remember Hidden Cup 1 and who Tato was up against, but... With hidden seeding, you know, sometimes you get faced up against some really strong players, and that's just how it goes. $10 on food right now for MbL, 16 on food for Liereyy, and Lierey's making a lot of skirms, but MbL's also made his own skirms. Liereyy now beginning to wall a little bit. He's walled here, so his pond can't be docked. All right. Looking at the amount of food here, I want to bring this up as well. So I think on 4 Lakes, which is the map that you guys are used to seeing in the ranked games, a lot of the food that they have is both players are trying to dock this side. But the fish that they have in the ponds are marlins. And marlins have 350 food. This version has dorado and salmon, which is 225 food each time. Which basically means that you're going to have to switch into another pond sooner rather than later. And the fish does not last quite as long. I think Belgium, did you... I don't know how much you looked at the maps, but is this helping? We are going to make a video and talk about the maps here once that qualifying bracket's out. Someone said check the south water. Oh, boy! Well, it's hard to take out Japanese fish. There's actually... this brings me back to my point. There's only a couple hundred food remaining here. But how was he able to do that? What the... How was he able to do that? MbL somehow snuck down here, but he's committing 2 docks to an area where he's not going to benefit all that much from fish anyways. But I still think that's huge. There's still a couple hundred food can make all the difference. Meanwhile, we also have players engaging here. Now, you might say 2 docks is overkill, but then you have to remember, as Liereyy might even consider fishing here, and he is now, you have to remember Huns don't have to make houses. MbL now back on his berries, even adding a stable for some potential scouts. MbL, he lost many of his archers. He doesn't have many ranged units out. I guess he's just launched a demo off here on this side. But I'm still looking at Lierey's position and thinking, because the Japanese fishing ships just don't die. Still thinking he'll be able to get to Castle Age faster. There's a market for Liereyy. He might buy or sell some resources if need be. Still not walled on the right, but no real threat coming in from MbL as he's hoping to click up as well. Wouldn't surprise me to see MbL make a market, but he doesn't really have the wood for it right now. Liereyy has this pond secured and locked down. In the south, he's lost it. He's just going to take as much food from this as possible before his fishing ships go down. That's funny. He won't get to drop off the food, but he's just like, as long as MbL doesn't have it, that's fine. And now over on the left side, you see MbL docking, and Lierey's doing the same. And this is something MbL... Oh, that's so unfortunate. MbL can't see it. And if Liereyy knows about that somehow, then and the uptimes might end up being very similar, then Liereyy could always get a lead in this pond as well. Humanoid says, do you think anyone will ever go for the relics in the corners? Oh my god, of course he sees the Vil. Just seeing the Vil will tell Liereyy all he needs to know. So unfortunate for MbL. Yeah, we talked about that at the start of this. I don't think we're going to see a lot of pressure for the relics in this tournament. Like, relics in the corners. We wanted to incentivize some more relic play, which is why we added more relics in the middle, but... Have we ever seen both players docking all 4 ponds? Oh, definitely, yeah. We've definitely seen that before. It's just something that... It largely depends on how serious the players are playing on the water. Sometimes players will switch into farm sooner rather than later. Liereyy kills a villager with man-at-arms and skirmishers. And MbL's got to chase this down, and this is going to lead to a lot of control for Liereyy, I'd say. But one thing he will want to do is take out as many archers as possible before MbL gets up. And MbL's decision is to, he says, best micro is no micro, as he loses 4 or 5 archers there, and he'll even throw away another one. He'll end up saving it, actually. What's MbL's plan here? He hasn't decided on if he wants to go stable units or ranged units, or maybe both, but like, 1 range, 1 stable probably won't cut it. And if I'm MbL, I stop adding fishing ships in this pond now. He actually very... Oh, he's got this left. It's kind of hard to see. But I think it's just within capture age it's hard to see, right? Let's go into the game. Oh, yeah, it's very different within capture age. Okay, that makes sense. Because I was worried for players that might be kind of rough to not be able to see the fish. MbL tried to dock again on this side, and that got denied by Liereyy. So Lierey's really done a good job locking down the ponds. And MbL's gone 2 docks here, and he's making fires. And then you have Liereyy also making fires. But I think MbL's was more of a response to Liereyy arriving, as Lierey's got the head start. Here is MbL, and I'm not sure why Liereyy isn't walled there. But he's going to add a house now, and this is a risky time to add the house if you want to save your villagers, Liereyy. Liereyy loses 1. Meanwhile, Lierey's got his own force, but MbL reacts to it nicely. Very good reaction time there from MbL, and very awkward situation for both players to be in. I'd say it's more awkward, though, for MbL currently, because he has to be pulled off of berries, and both of his wood lines can be ranged. I need some type of defense for this. And a crossbowman goes down. Yeah, it's just hectic. He's not walled in the backside. Liereyy has more in the way of walling. Lierey's going to have some knights and crossbows here. Liereyy also not really winning water, but controlling water at least on that side. Close game. Liereyy with a slight lead right now. MbL really struggling to think of ideas on how he can defend at home. And that wall off from Liereyy with the houses, it was worth losing 1 or 2 villagers there just so he could buy the time to get the knights here. Whereas on this side, MbL wasn't really able to stall. He can't make house walls. Good micro from MbL, though. And Liereyy not paying attention. Probably because he's fighting at home, and Lierey's going to toss away his crossbows. So both players are going to lose their crossbows, but Liereyy probably... He'll be pissed at himself over that one, because I think he could have got more value here. These are just feudal age skirmishers. In the end, though, I think he'll end up losing these crossbowmen. He does have good micro, and he will still have control with the counterattack, but... been slightly better there for the Austrian. Why does MbL release the knight here instead of waiting for 3? Well, he has 9 on food. He had to force down a tower. He doesn't have a good eco setup right now. Like, that is a sign when someone releases there where you need something now or you're dead. So it basically was because MbL is and he is currently in such a position where he has to continue to take good fights, so this is probably GG for him. And here comes Liereyy again. He's going to hit the wood line. And Liereyy gets a Vil pick already. And you're seeing the flexibility of Japanese. But you're also seeing that control that Lierey's able to get. Because he's working with multiple ranges. He's working with a stable. He's working with more fishing ships. MbL hasn't even reacted yet. And this, I mean, this should be the GG move, right? I don't know what MbL was looking at. Maybe he was microing on water. I think he was probably microing on water on the left side. And Lierey's just all over him. Knights and crossbows on the front. Crossbows on the back side. Liereyy is fun to watch, but he also like reminds everyone of how human other players are out there. You know, like... he dives in with the knights here now. He realizes there's nothing to stop him. He can just slide right through. As MbL was making a new lumber camp as well, and MbL is just forced to micro with what he's got. And that's not all that much. He's got 7 crossbows, 2 scouts, 7 fire ships, but at this point, Liereyy has such a lead on land that the water probably doesn't matter quite as much. Poor MbL, man. Game 1 was a solid game from him. It was an aggressive start with the lane, but Liereyy ended up getting the dominant win, and Lierey's going to see the score. He's going to see the Vil picks here, and he's going to realize, even MbL of all people is going to realize that it's probably not a game that he can bring back. Like, how, realistically, after that many villagers die, how important is this pond, right? I love this map as MbL taps out. I love this map because it comes down to commitment and how much you're going to commit to a certain area. And we could maybe look back and we could talk about this. MbL committed 2 docks to a pond that Liereyy had pretty much already fished through. But seeing as this is the first time MbL and Liereyy have played on this version, I think that MbL probably, he didn't know that the food runs out a lot faster here. Project Belgium, who's in chat, and he'll be playing in the qualifier, talked about how he played a practice game on this map, and he completely overfished a pond because he's used to the ranked version, where they added so much food. So that's going to be something that MbL is going to keep in mind next time, because this doesn't look all that special in late Castle Age. It only looks special in the early feudal, which was Liereyy was able to do. Liereyy is going to win Hidden Cup. You heard it here first. Well, probably not first, but you heard it here. I was going to say, I don't know if you're the first one to say that. And again, I think this is just a show match 1 month away from when things are going to happen. So Liereyy will be one of many names who could perform well in the tournament. Now, what I'm excited for is the guessing game this year is going to be so much more difficult. Let's take a quick look at the statistics. Liereyy had more food, wood, stone, and gold collected. Guessing who is who, it's not going to be easy in 2021. I mean, Liereyy, Hera, Viper, Yo, MbL, Tato, Doubt, Dogal. I mean, those are the 8 names that are already in the tournament, and then there's so many big names who are gonna have to fight through a qualifier. And I really see this Hidden Cup being the most confusing of all the Hidden Cups. And the most fun with the guessing games anyways. Whoever makes War Elephants is probably Viper. We'll see, man. We'll see. If Persians will even be picked and on Arabia, which like 2013 or 2013, sorry, a Hidden Cup 3, that made sense. I'm not sure if that makes sense now. Okay. So game 3 will be on Bay. And I haven't been looking at the Civ draft too frequently because they're not wasting time in between games, but let's do that real quick. So MbL lost with Tatars, and he lost with Huns. Liereyy won with Chinese, and he won with Japanese. So in Hidden Cup 3 and Hidden Cup 2, and pretty much all the Hidden Cups where Bay existed, which I think was 2 and 3, Mongols was the go-to pick for Bay. Now, we've made some tweaks to Bay. MbL probably didn't see the version yet. He doesn't have to play this tournament for a month. But Bay is a bit different now. I'm thinking Liereyy is probably going to go Italians or Lithuanians and try and take some advantage of the water. But I'm curious to see. Maybe he goes Aztecs. Maybe he experiments in some different way. All 5 games are played. Certainly for the players' sake, we don't want to see a 5-0 or anything like that. But yeah, they should be starting shortly. Game number 3. Oh, they have started, actually. Let's go. Are they intentionally picking colors to annoy viewers? Like, this has got to be a troll. Okay, I have to restart Capture Age. Look at these colors. Okay, game number 1, I think I have to tab in. There you go. Game number 1, they went for green and yellow. Game number 2, they went for green and blue. Game number 3, they're going for green and teal. Like, what other variation can they do to confuse viewers? But anyways, welcome everyone. People, just get the pants out of your system. Say pants if you want to. This is Bay, a Hidden Cup 4 version of Bay, and we have made some tweaks from previous tournaments. The big tweak is the fact that wood lines are no longer guaranteed to be in the corner. It's going to be on the... Normally, as it's positioned right now, you're still going to have back wood line options. But the most important tweak is the stone positions. MbL has picked Mongols because Mongols were picked so frequently in previous Hidden Cups. Mongols would take advantage of the extra hunt that's out here. Mongols would use that hunting bonus, fight for water, and then they would wall up, and they would use the stone to get to Mangadai. What do you guys think about the stone positions in this version? I don't think Mongols is an easy pick here. This is a little bit more risky. Remember, you can't wall to the shoreline because land units can always run on this terrain. So if you wanted to full wall your base, you would have to wall like this, like this, like this. It's a lot of walling to go for. So I think players are going to figure out strategies for this. It's not just going to be a Mongol fest anymore. And MbL, he has picked Mongols. He's going to try his best to use it here in the new version. And both Liereyy and MbL are just playing the show match today to kind of get a feel for the settings and to show you guys what they're capable of course. But both Liereyy and MbL will be in the main event of Hidden Cup 4, which is March 18th through the 21st. There are 8 names already in. The top 8 from Hidden Cup 3 already were given a spot, which, by the way, is like a free $2,000, by the way. I say free. They still had to play really well in Hidden Cup 3, so not so free. But yeah, the qualifiers themselves will actually start in a few days. And 8 more names will have to qualify over the course of a couple weeks. Another thing we did with this map and the quote-unquote fixed position maps is it's not always going to be oriented like this. So there's actually 4 different generations. Sometimes the water will be here, sometimes the water will be here, sometimes the water will be here. The same base layout where you have what you guys would call the belt if this is pants, and then the crotchal region with the water. That's still going to be consistent, but sometimes other aspects will change. Who did MbL and Liereyy lose to in Hidden Cup 3? Liereyy lost to Tato 3-2. MbL lost to Dogao 3-2. So they both lost in 3-2 best-of-5 quarterfinals. Neither of them made the semifinals in Hidden Cup 3. And the game... And both of them were in extraordinary games in Hidden Cup 3 as well. MbL Dogao's Game 5 was amazing because it was a 12-hour freaking day of quarterfinals. I think it was 13 hours, actually. There were only 4 best-of-5s, but the quarterfinals were so competitive that the games just wouldn't stop. And then the last game was a Khmer War on Hideout, which was just, I think it was over 2 hours long. Quarterfinal day might have been the best day of any tournament ever. I personally think it is. I personally think it was. But close second place. And of course, there's some bias there. Was probably the Red Bull quarterfinals. That was also pretty sick. And that was largely because of the upsets, right? But in terms of the quality of games and the closeness of the sets, I still feel like that quarterfinal day of Hidden Cup 3 was just nuts. Right, Liereyy getting pushed back by MbL Scout. MbL with 21 HP, Liereyy here with 18 HP, so Liereyy will have to back away. I wonder if MbL will go out here for the hunt. Another civ that I feel something you can consider on this map is maybe Berbers. Because you have the faster vills. You can hunt this, and then run over here to hunt this, and run over here to hunt this. I don't know. I mean, MbL is just going up fast feudal here, and he's going to try and win water. He has docked. He has 2 fishing ships out, and Liereyy will have 2 fishing ships as well. And I thought this might have been the approach from Liereyy. Italians are good water civ, and many times you choose to fight for the water. But the idea of this map is to have options. I want the water to be important, but type a 1 in chat if you hate it when someone wins the water in a game, and then it's just GG. I will type a verbal 1 in the chat. I'm not a huge fan of that, except for islands. I like islands being like that, because that's what islands is about. But I didn't want to see maps where winning water necessarily means the game is over. I want there to be other ways to play. Let me tab out right now and say, can you please not choose colors that are so close to each other in the next games? Okay, I'm going to say that now because knowing these players, in the next game, whenever that happens, they're going to have some confusing colors as well. So I just going to get ahead of the game. 3 games in a freaking row they're doing this. I'm sorry, guys. And, ooh, MbL and Feudal. I don't think he has the HP to be able to commit fighting this villager and killing this villager, but he can delay. Look at that. Hey, he can just delay a bit. Ooh. I think he took too many hits there because now Liereyy Scout could chase him down, but he's going to run home, and MbL already producing fire galleys. On Bay, water can be won or lost quite quickly. We've even seen strategies from players to simply go 1 dock and make demos to just take out the enemy fishing ships. I think that was Lix and Tim who did that. And in my practice games on this map, I don't think it's a bad strat. Because they're investing into all these docks and fire galleys, and if you take out their fishing ships anyways with a few demos, and you're investing into farms, or maybe taking the hunt as MbL's now out here, it would always be worth it. MbL really, really badly wants to save this scout, but he will lose it. And Liereyy really wants to save these fishing ships, and he will lose 1. Now it's 2 fire galleys versus 2, but Liereyy off to a rough start here, as he's even going for a 3rd dock. Now there's 10 salmon in the middle on this map. So it's 10 salmon. Actually, it might be 8. I might have gotten it wrong. Oh! Oh, what a great demo from MbL. Oh, that's huge. What a massive lead he has already. He had the better attacks with the fire galleys. He was faster to feudal. And now that demo's landed, he could even deny this dock. Lierey's going to try and make palisade walls to protect the villager. But can you do that? You can. You can do that in this instance. Are you kidding me? I've always hated that. You shouldn't be able to wall out fire, man. People should still burn. At the very least, she should roast a little bit. I never understood that one. Thanks to E, I guess, but MbL still in a fine position. He actually positioned the demo in the middle there, just hoping to get some extra damage in on the right fire galley from Liereyy. Anyways, Lierey's gone full water commitment, and he's lost water. Whereas MbL, he wasn't even going fully on water. He was taking advantage of the hunt. So this is a double whammy. He's Mongols taking advantage of the hunt, and he didn't commit as much, sorry, he committed 2 docks versus 3 docks, and he's winning on water. So maybe it's not just about the Mangadai with Mongols. Maybe it's just that fast uptime into getting a lead on water and then shifting over to the hunt. Anyways, best case scenario for Liereyy is he's going to have to shift into something else, and that's going to be feudal age military. Liereyy is getting wrecked on water. There's no other way to say it. Maybe a demo coming out could give him a comeback. He's got a demo coming out of this dock and then fires out of the others. I guess you shouldn't add additional fishing ships on this map, at least in this position yet, if you're MbL. I don't know. But anyways, I think it's 8 or 10. I forget the exact number of salmon, which is 225 food. So let's say it's 10 because that's easy for math. That's a little over 1,000 food. It's like 1,200 food, I guess. And then there's plenty of hunt out there. And Lierey's got a range in the middle of the map. He might go with spearmen and a few archers to pressure MbL. Actually, if we look at Lierey's scouting in a moment, and I'll actually show you now so you can see the mini-map, he does know that MbL is taking that hunt. He knows there's something over there. He scouted that with this scout, which he still has alive. He also sees the berries. So I think MbL, he's trying to use all this food to go up to Castle Age fast, which is kind of what the meta was back in Hidden Cup 3. Oh, Liereyy, it might even be worth it going for the fishing ships right now. If 3 are up against each other, I'd say it's worth it. Certainly more worth it than that. Great micro MbL. Yeah, I think MbL could get surprised in a moment. Let's see. Liereyy, good micro. Oh, great demo from MbL, though. And let's see if he pulls back this fire. No, he doesn't do that. Liereyy will be happy with it. Might as well use the demo here, I guess. Or you can just use it as a debate. Liereyy, what do you got here? He's got a few archers, 7 on food. Do you guys think it's a mistake for Liereyy not to take the hunt? I get that Mongols have a bonus for it. But just because there's hunt out there and Mongols are taking it and you feel like you can't compete with that bonus, doesn't mean you shouldn't take it. The guy, he's adding farms right now. Like, why not send 4 villagers out here? Maybe he didn't scout all of it. I don't know. And he'll eventually have to rethink his strats a little bit. MbL on the way to Castle Age, making a market. This guy wants to take that stone and go Mangadai. He's going to get surprised by archers. MbL is maybe not aware of how to play this just yet. And I think in like a year ago in Hidden Cup 3, Liereyy would have no chance from here. But because we've changed the map up, Italians certainly have a chance here. Just because you can't wall and go on stone as Mongols. See how MbL is going for a market and a blacksmith? He has all that food banked up. That's nice. But he has no defense for archers. And big demo from MbL. And whoa! That was huge again for him. What the hell is that nose icon on the map? That is not a nose. That is called a town center, my friend. Only the best knows that. I seriously... Is he going to boom? I think MbL is going to get shocked by this. Remember, he lost his scout, right? Liereyy has fletching. This is MbL's point of view, guys. He's going to try and wall it with no military. You can't do that on New Bay. Or if you're going to do it, you need to commit super early. This is a very greedy approach. MbL will see the archers now. And MbL's got to be thinking... I can tell you what MbL's probably saying. In Norwegian. It's probably like, fun! As he makes some gates, he makes some houses. But Lierey's pressure is just non-stop here. Liereyy says, I'll kill you. Thank you very much. I'll kill the next one. Very much. And... Or thanks very much. And I guess he's going to need knights? So, considering we put a lot of time into working on the maps, talking about the maps, and making tweaks, I'm really happy. I'm not happy that MbL is getting destroyed here. And he's, of course, still got a chance, right? He's still got a chance of being Castle Age. But I am very pleased to see the way that Liereyy has found some success for pushing here. Very happy to see that. So many villagers were killed there. 6 villagers from MbL went down. He still has the stone for a town center. And I guess maybe he wants to go into, like... He doesn't have a barracks yet, so I doubt he can make a stable, too. I guess this MbL will go into a siege workshop to make scorpions. And then maybe just boom and play defensive from here. Look at how Liereyy has built so much in the middle of the map. And that's the other thing about Bay, is it's all about expanding to the middle. Still think Liereyy could have gone away with going out to the deer. And first thing MbL does in Castle Age is a siege workshop and a TC. So he's going to try and boom. Liereyy will click up to Castle Age here. And Liereyy, you could say, has a lead on water right now. But he's allowing MbL to fish still. Do you think MbL playing so many times against Liereyy makes it easier for him to bait Liereyy into water demos? Into water demos. Is that a thing? Has that been an experience between the two? I'm not really sure what you mean by that, rocking out. I think most players at the top 10, they know each other very well. They've been playing each other for years, so maybe some instances you might say like playing against someone frequently will give you an edge. I'm sure it doesn't hurt. Okay, I just was confused by your comment about water demos. Do you think that Lierey's tempted to run around here? Because you can run around this. Okay, Liereyy was thinking about it. Is Liereyy an adult yet? I guess it depends on your definition of legal adult. Iggy's 18, so I suppose in most countries the answer is yes. Let me put it to you this way. If he was an American, he could fight and die for his country, but he couldn't drink beer. So, good old US of A. He's an adult in some ways, but not others. So Liereyy will have crossbowmen. Liereyy had to sell his stone to go up. So he really realized he would fall behind. MbL's got scorpions, and he's just patrolling the scorpions to the middle of the map. What's funny is he's going to hit the range, I think. Unless he's really paying attention to this. And he is. Okay. You can see the archer back there. Bonk. I don't know how the archer survived from 2 hits. Those are massive bolts on those scorpions. Not very realistic. I think Lierey's going to go for siege monk play and just pressure. Update on the water, by the way. MbL hasn't really ejected, but players have kind of given up on the salmon. Not a life I'd like to live, but understandable, I suppose. MbL 45 eco, Liereyy 39 eco, and I'm really liking how this game is shaped up a bit. MbL's booming like crazy. Doesn't have a lot of offensive military. And I can't tell you if I've ever seen a Mongol player on Bay just be booming 3 TCs without a castle before. So the new version is definitely paying off here. I think Mongols are still top 5 for this map, and we'll have to see a lot more. I think the qualifiers will really tell us like what people prefer on this map. But I can see it being predictable and counterable possibly in some ways. I do like Italians a lot too. Liereyy just needs to be up to feudal age a little bit faster. Then they're fine. MbL coming, Monk coming, lots of pressure from Liereyy. Update on his economy. It's not looking too hot, truthfully, but second TC on the way. Again, just the small things. Why not TC here? You can take the deer. Every little bit helps, right? I like how active Liereyy has been with his scouting in this game. What changed in the new version of Bay? So again, I've touched on this, but a lot of people might have just got here. The main thing is it's a lot more difficult to wall off your base, and the stones are always exposed. So it's not easy to just win water, wall up, and just go for your unique unit. Like it was easier to do back in Hidden Cup 3. But what do you boom into if you're Mongols? Typically, it's Mangadai in a 1v1. Maybe he has to shift focus. Maybe he has to go for something else. As we see redemption for Liereyy, and that's early redemption. He's got 2 monks, and he's spending almost 500 gold in redemption, which means he can convert enemy siege. What's in the west of the map? Oh, Liereyy building a town center. No, MbL. What the? I'm even getting confused. Wait a second, MbL. Wait a second. How the? He just walked over here with 1 villain and is building a town center? If you believe this map is called Pants, he is currently on the belt. That is hilarious. That is such an MbL thing. Like, MbL or Max, those would be the only 2 players who'd ever do that crap. Of course, we know who's who right now. We will do some actual hidden show matches the 2 weeks before Hidden Cup, and Hidden Cup main event, of course, is March 18th through the 21st. But type a 1 in chat if you were not present live on stream to see any of the previous Hidden Cups. And you don't need to feel bad if you weren't, by the way. Hopefully there's a few names out there. It's a great time. So this year, so actually, hold on. Hidden Cup 3, all the maps that were played in the qualifiers were played in the main event. And still, players would prepare strategies and unleash these crazy strategies in the main event. Notably, Cup had some crazy strats. This year, only 7 maps of the tournament are seen in the qualifier. And then the week before the qualifier ends, we unveil the maps that will be seen for the main event, and there will be 4 additional maps, I believe. So it's going to be add some extra spice to it, because we won't be able to look at the qualifiers and know what strategy is going to come. And look at this. Now, MbL has a decision to make here. Does he delete this Siege Workshop? And Mangonel's at 90%. Oh! Oh, boy. Now he has to delete it. Now he has to delete that there. He fired and deleted, so his Mangonel wouldn't get converted. He kills 2 Mangonels, but now he could lose the Siege Workshop. You don't want to give Liereyy a Siege Workshop here. Liereyy might be behind by 20 villagers, but he's got a ton of control, and he says, hey, thanks very much, buddy. Now I can make forward siege. I think MbL should have deleted that. I don't know why he didn't delete that. That is a big mistake. He's now Mongols buying stone for towers. Look at how he's had to shift his strategy. He does have this TC out here, and that's cool and all, but I guess he could look for stone over there if he really needs it. Liereyy has 23 military. MbL was 6 military. Liereyy even, he wants to, could maybe add fishing ships and then go for some fish traps later on. That could be a good way to play it. Lierey's already looked very good today with his decision making. MbL definitely a bit rusty by his standards. But the theme here is taking map control on Bay. MbL took water control. Has 30-some villagers. What's he going to do with it? It's hard to make siege now because the enemy has redemption monks and can convert your siege. Kind of awkward to go into knights because there's a lot of crossbowmen and the monks out there. But I think you've got to go. I mean, you either go really greedy into a castle. Our tower defense certainly was not a bad decision. You go really greedy into a castle, or you go for knights and hope for the best. Our towers ended up being very wise for MbL. And now you have crossbowmen from Liereyy behind here. MbL, let's just zoom out real quick and look at his eco. He's going to run out of space. If it stays like this for the next 10-15 minutes, he will not have space elsewhere on the map. Whereas Liereyy is just controlling all the extra resources, except for this little area out here. 30 vil lead for MbL. Can he make it work for himself? Liereyy, I think, is about to click up to Imp. It is cheaper for Italians to do so. And there he goes. Wow. And he's on stone too, so maybe a forward castle drop could be in order. This group of crossbowmen will hit the wood line. MbL, while he has additional villagers, look at his idle eco time. 50 minutes of idle TC, or idle villager time. 14 minutes for Liereyy. And he's investing more and more stone into defending areas that ideally he would not have to invest into. I think it's a... MbL is going to benefit so much from this show match. And main thing I'm thinking of now is he should know that there's stone on the belt. He's even getting that relic right now. But if he knew there was stone on the belt, I think he would be mining that stone right now, but he's not looking for it. Stone could be really important for him. Mongols without stone and imp, kind of a... I mean, I suppose their siege is still incredible, but they're not the most exciting civ ever. I see him getting light cav. I see him getting bloodlines. So maybe MbL, he can find space to build the stables. Oh my... He's going to use this. So he's going to raid from this side. Liereyy will never expect this. Okay, so he's making the stables over here. And I suppose he's just going to open up with Hussar and then save all of his gold. What happens if Liereyy castle drops MbL at home, though? Like, Liereyy, on one hand, doesn't have defense at his own base for the Hussars. But then MbL doesn't really have anything to defend from the Treps. I guess he could always make stables at home. He is doing that. MbL doesn't have a single armor upgrade yet. It's on the way, but he was very late to some of these upgrades. Might even be worth it to get a second blacksmith in this position. Oh my goodness, I didn't think about this. Look at Liereyy. So Lierey's got 3 relics, and he's going over here to look for the other ones, and he will probably spot these buildings. I like Lierey's castle placement because he's expecting MbL to maybe have a castle here, and he wants MbL's trebuchets to have to come outside of his walls. I thought about that too when I saw this castle. He doesn't know he can comfortably place it forward. A little risky. All right, so now he can see the stables. And now he should probably, yeah, start fortifying, start walling. He's going to add a town center here. MbL with Hussar on the way. Mongols do not get the final armor upgrade. So the Castle Age armor upgrade is maxed out with armor. He can raid then. Mongol Hussars do get extra HP. And here they come. The winged Hussars have arrived. Da-da-da-da-dun. That's my best Sabaton impersonation. And Liereyy will lose Vills. And Lierey's already behind in villagers. So that one villager, that sneaky villager, just changed the game. And, oh man, this is going to be a nightmare for Liereyy. He thought he had control. And truthfully, it was looking good. If you look at the minimap, you can see how much teal's on the minimap. But he didn't keep an eye on this area. And MbL's now making more town centers out here on the belt. The idle time will go way up for Liereyy, and the Vill count will go way down. There is a problem to talk about here for MbL. And the problem is, if Liereyy starts snowballing trebs and units on the front, he might not have an answer. So it does seem like this pressure is so frustrating for Liereyy that he has to bring all that force home, which is so good for MbL. There's things to think about if MbL doesn't have military at home. But my goodness, this has paid off. 78 villagers for Liereyy. 130 population for him. 150 for MbL. And Liereyy has all this military. He just can't engage against the Hussars. You have villagers dying here. Liereyy having to quick wall to stop the rot. MbL could still make Hussars. MbL could switch into Rams. Oh my goodness, there's a hole here as well for Liereyy. Oh, this is a nightmare. They both have a lot of idle time, to be honest. But this raid has worked out so well, and it'd be lovely if MbL could go into something else now. Massive score lead for MbL. Looks like he's even getting the Onager tech. And he says, okay, Liereyy, you're not going to expand anymore to the west. That's for damn sure. And I'm keeping an eye on MbL's scouting. It seems like he can get this gold. He can maybe take this stone. He might even be tempted to ram this castle down. The castle, excuse me, is not that protected. T90, is there Black Forest Vikings only match in Hidden Cup? Yeah, if Hidden Cup finals reach 100,000 viewers, that's what we'll force the players to do. Oh God, Liereyy! He didn't expect it. He's got too much to look at right now. He's trying to get forward, and MbL swooped in with more Hussars. Genoese crossbowmen are fantastic against Hussars. It's a little risky to just go for Hussars long term. But Onager, it's funny how we've seen nothing but Hussar and Siege, and even Hussar Siege seems to be doing work with Mongols here. Forget about the Mangadai with the Mongols. Just go for this. Liereyy is really frustrated now, I'm sure. It's also impossible for him to really push this area, because if he's anywhere near those siege workshops, Onagers are going to pop out. He just created a few knights, though. That's a little sloppy from MbL to lose that. And Liereyy, he's going to drop a castle here. I think he'll keep his Treb alive here. Oh my God, MbL! He deleted the freaking shot, too. He deleted the shot. I'll explain that in a bit. But a massive shot from MbL on Liereyy, just as Liereyy was trying to get this control back. There's another Onager here. MbL fires. He deletes again. Gets another hit. And guys, for some weird reason, I don't know why this hasn't been addressed yet. And you guys probably, many of you probably know about this, but if you delete a Mangonel after firing, it does more damage in all areas of the hits. So basically, like, let's say that Onager shot covers this amount of space. The middle tends to be where the most damage comes in. But if you delete it, it does the same amount of damage in every area of the connection. So it's, I have always understood it for deleting uphill, which has to do with the hill bonuses. But the fact that you delete on even ground seems pretty weird. But I'll tell you what, the highly specific thing that has mattered for a bit, and it's been more and more obvious here on DE, and MbL says, oh, you don't have anything at home? You're not going to have anything in the middle either, buddy. Rams coming in now. Hussars everywhere. MbL's finally on stone. But does he even need it? Liereyy also has his 4 relics in this monastery. He was never expecting to lose middle control. Or he wasn't expecting to lose middle control in this way, right? I think he was expecting to fight here and hold here, win or lose. But that one villager changed the game for MbL. 53 on food for him. I'd like to see him get Siege Ram, but he is spending a lot of food with the Hussars, and he shouldn't necessarily stop production. The belt comeback, and look, he's even in here again. It must be really difficult for Liereyy even to see these raids, because it's so tough as a caster to see green and teal, man. And this game will definitely be on YouTube. I don't know about the others, but in game 1 and 2, they had really awkward colors for the caster. 143 vills for MbL and 69 for Liereyy. And don't even say it. Don't say it. It's not nice. That's bad. It's not nice at all. 47 minutes into the game, that's the opposite of nice. The Hussars able to take decent trades there. And wow, man. Like, the raids distracted Liereyy so much. The game plan from Liereyy was simple. Forward castle, snowball, arbalest, and Genoese crossbowmen and trebs. Keep MbL off of stone. Keep him from expanding. And for all he knew, MbL had not expanded at all. And throughout much of Castle Age, he had pressure here. He had army over here. Like, he probably is really confused how MbL was somehow able to get a base on the belt. And he did this with 0 Mangudai. Now, Liereyy, he had a good civ for this map. Mongol's still going to be a top-tier civ for this map, and we will see as the qualifiers start this coming week if Mongols is the top-tier pick for this map. I think it's still up there. Come Hidden Cup main event, which is March 18th through the 21st, YouTube, please make it. There's going to be some civ sniping and civ banning, things of that nature, which will, of course, the players will have to know what is strong on each map. But I'm still just so amazed that the Hussars changed so much. Liereyy had to send everything home. And MbL just waited and waited and waited and eventually took the position right back. Impressive. MbL showing that a belt is important to keep your pants on. Exactly, Taid. That's exactly what I was going to go with. And let's look to the statistics real quick. 156 units killed for MbL. The KD, impressive considering he didn't really spend a lot of gold for his military, except for the onagers. And those onager shots were beautiful. And more food, more wood, and more gold collected for MbL. The 3 TCs he was able to get to in Castle Age because of this difference definitely paid off for him. And somehow, even though Liereyy made so much military, MbL held on. I wouldn't say that MbL would say that was an ideal game, like how that played out. Having to go into guard towers and buying stone with Mongols probably was not part of his game plan. But the best Age of Empires players adapt really, really well. And MbL did fine in that instance. I don't know if you could say lack of experience from Liereyy there. I think he did most of the right moves. It is really tough if you're a civ like Italians and someone starts using mobility against you. I think Liereyy just perhaps should have scouted a little bit more. Or you could just say it was good fortune from MbL. Like, no one else is going to send a random villager over there to build a TC when you're already on 3 TCs at home. That's just weird. But it won him the game. Hero Villager number 2. Just like that YouTube upload I had not too long ago. Alright. So finally MbL gets a win on the board. The score now is 2-1. The next map will be Slopes. And on the little civ draft that they've gone for, Liereyy has drafted a civ, which was common in Hidden Cup 3. And he drafted Indians for that. MbL does have some civs available. I'll show you that in a second. I just got to make sure. I said, can you please not choose colors that are so close to each other in the next games? And they didn't respond to me. So no promises that things are actually fine. But yeah, this is what the draft looked like. Just a brief glimpse. I'm not going to stress on it too much. But I think Liereyy will go Indians. I hope MbL doesn't go Incas. Like, not saying Incas are the worst civ for Slopes. But I don't think Vil fighting on Slopes is necessary. In the practice games that I've played and seen, I feel like so many good civs. Like, you can go man-at-arms into archers. You can go scouts with other civs. You don't have to go YOLO if you don't have Indians. Is this live or replays? This is live. This is absolutely, positively live games. They've been good games, too. Liereyy, it was a bit stompy game 1 and 2, but game 1 in particular was the standout there. They're also not leaving us much time to wait. And yes, we have green and red. They've changed the colors. Thank you, players. We can see now. Guys, I have missed a lot of resubs and subs and a lot of nice messages today, too. That's because the games have been back-to-back. So thank you, everybody. Appreciate the hype and the kind words and just, being here to watch the games. And welcome to the new Slopes. Hidden Cup 3, Slopes was a brand new map. Hidden Cup 4, it will return. It will also be one of the maps in the qualifier pool, and Liereyy is in the red here. This is a 5-game played show match. They're playing all the games. It's $40 a win. Thank you, Dan Song, again. Smiley's in chat, by the way, for him. I don't know if he's been able to make it. But Lierey's gone for Indians, a civ I'll talk about in a bit, and MbL's gone for Vikings. And on Slopes, it's all about options like many maps in Hidden Cup. Hidden Cup has a large mix of land maps, closed maps, and hybrid maps. And so what you have here is you have 2 shorefish and 4 deer on either side of the player's base. Whereas in Hidden Cup 3, it was 5 or 6 shorefish, I think. And Indians having the shorefish bonus led to them being picked quite frequently. The other benefit of having shorefish is that you can wall in your villagers quite easily next to the mill. And you can't do that when you're taking deer. But you notice how we positioned the shorefish. It's not so easy to wall in your villagers, and there's only 2 of them. So that will be important. And a build order that people would go for and think about was to actually go for the mill before lumber camp. I don't think that's a smart play personally in my testing games, but we did a lot of testing games. There will be more testing games because we have 4 new maps to unveil when the main event happens March 18th through the 21st. And in the games I played against 2K1, 2K2 players, Indians feel strong, but they do not feel like easily the best civilization on this map. Specifically, civs like Japanese, Goths, any man-at-arm, like crazy man-at-arm aggression civ that has a solid follow-up, especially with eco bonuses, can beat Indians. But we'll see. How come he's using Vikings on Slopes and not saved for Black Forest? Pasty Man, are you just the biggest Black Forest fan or what? Or Fatslop fan, I should say. What the? Oh. MbL's gonna wall already? Look at the approach, guys. Just look at the approach. Liereyy, 2 villagers on wood, sending 3 villagers to build a mill on the shorefish and the deer to get food. MbL, 1 villager walling already. Another villager walling already. Keep this in mind. I understand that this is just a show match, and this is the first time they're probably playing on the settings, and the event's not for over a month. But both of these players will be in Hidden Cup 4, and they will be playing on a hero name, and we will not know who is who. So remember this moment if you want any tidbits of information on the players. Someone walling in Dark Age 5 minutes in, MbL confirmed. And he even pushed in a deer. He does not want to leave himself exposed at all. Truthfully, Indians do have a lot more mobility. So it would be rather tough if Indians get to a lot of scouts. And MbL showing Liereyy what he's up to. And even got a hit there with his villager. Lierey's probably just looking to see what MbL is doing. Is MbL over here? He doesn't see it as he has to run away. Another thing to bring up about Slopes, and this is by far one of the best maps. I say this with extreme bias, and I will admit that I didn't make any of it. It was just my idea that I wrote out on Paint. But of all the maps I've seen over the years, I love Slopes probably the most. It's better than Bay. Cup is also up there. But like the fact that it's difficult to wall unless your name is MbL, and then there's gold and stones in the middle of the push. Then you have the extra golds and stones on the sides, combined with all the Dark Age and Feudal Age fun with the resources. I don't know. I'm a huge fan of this map. I'm very happy with what it turned into, and I'm really excited to see what the games end up being. But yeah, that's basically what happens when I make maps for Hidden Cup, is I have a team. We brought Krazini in this year, who's done good work with other tournaments, right? And I say, hey, team, this is what I'm thinking. And I basically just get paint up, and I draw it. And then everyone gets to work, and we say, okay, let's change this, let's change that, let's change this, let's change that. And post the drawing. I don't know if I still have the Slopes one, because that was over a year ago, but they're pretty bad at the start. I mean, they're pretty bad in general, so. I mean, is this good or bad logic from MbL? I'm curious in your thoughts. Because Vikings, they get free wheelbarrows starting in Feudal Age, which is a great bonus. And maybe he doesn't want to leave himself exposed before that kicks in. Like, Lierey's going to have an insane feudal age uptime. He's already on the way. And Lierey's going for man-at-arms. All right, so Lierey's going to go for man-at-arms to try and break down those walls. But at least MbL with the walls will feel a bit safer so he doesn't get overwhelmed by any fast build order. Now, I'm curious on Lierey's scouting, and this is what's fun about Slopes. Did he check this side? No, he did not. So he's probably going to attack the walls, and he might just assume that MbL is not choosing to take it. Yeah, okay, he's checked over here. He knows MbL's not there. Is he going to attack walls, or is he going to see if MbL has villas over here? It's not going to be easy for MbL to wall this up. Ah, MbL did this in Hidden Cup 3 as well. He always made his barracks and his stable outside of his walls. And again, I don't know if he's going to go for a stable. He's probably not expecting 4 men-at-arms from Liereyy, though. Can tell you that much. Instant reaction from MbL should be to place a house here. Liereyy, typical Liereyy, is going to follow this up with some archers. Now, Liereyy could also go over here. So he's sending more villagers to take the resources on this side. Still has deer to work with now after he finished off the shorefish. And Liereyy, just an update on the scouting. This is probably the only mistake he's made this game. He has not checked to see if MbL's over here. MbL will reach feudal in a moment. What will his decision be? Will it be an archery range on the side, or will it be farms? It looks like he's chosen farms. Greedy, greedy, greedy boy. Do you want to force MbL into house walls? I don't know about that. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Men-at-arms immediately stop attacking the houses, and it's because Liereyy spotted there were vills there, and MbL, I think he's realized that he spotted, but what does he do about it? Scouts engaging. Liereyy scout's the weaker one, but Liereyy has support. Will Liereyy lose that scout? He will. MbL? This is what Liereyy can see. MbL should have time to deal with. Wait a second. Because he's Vikings and he has wheelbarrow, his villagers are faster than men-at-arms. I didn't think about that fact. That's really funny. Because he has free wheelbarrow, his villagers work... Wow. Yeah, he can just run home. So I don't think he was ever worried there. If that were me, I would have walled in my vills, and then the archer would show up, and then my vills would die. That's really good thinking. And he could use these scouts to cut off the archer reinforcements if he spots it. Hello? MbL. Okay, a little bit slow on that. I also don't think making the stable outside was the smartest move, but we'll see if he's able to do something more. Now check this out. Liereyy, he clearly has an idea of how he feels this map should be played as he's going over here to see if MbL switch sides. He's done that. He's taking food on both sides. MbL doesn't seem to have huge interest in taking that side. He's just going to stick with farms, which long-term is going to be the better option. And he's also just going to lose his stable now, which it's not great. It's not great at all. Liereyy has a spearman here protecting these villagers. That's good to see. MbL does have 4 scouts, though. He could easily take out vills with 4 scouts. Now, let's check MbL's scouting, because if he didn't scout those sides, he doesn't have a clue. Oh, man. If he would have scouted this area, he could at least see in the fog of war that the deer were dead. Here he comes. Liereyy tries to house wall, and Liereyy will fail with the house wall, and I don't think he'll lose a villager. Oh, he does lose a villager, and Liereyy actually intentionally did that because he wanted the TC to get big hits on the scouts, but MbL dodged it anyways. And MbL, who's already going to be better off with eco when it comes to free wheelbarrow, gets 2 vill picks. However, he lost a scout, and one is very, very weak. And now you have Liereyy realizing he's not over there. I wonder if he'll consider taking it then. Probably too risky. He's going to attack the walls. And we have Liereyy also shifting over with his men-at-arms and archers. MbL does have a range now, and he's going to make skirmishers. What do you think, guys, about how this game is developed? It feels as though... I think MbL is going to have to formulate some type of game plan to use the sides a little bit more. But overall, with free wheelbarrow kicking in and Liereyy not having many farms, I could see how Liereyy could have some problems in the mid-game here compared to MbL. Just really fun, man. We've talked about all the corners. We talked about Lierey's base. We talked about MbL's base. And yeah, MbL will defend this, no problem. Honestly, MbL shouldn't even get fletching. Because Liereyy is so known for not getting... Okay, Liereyy is known for getting fletching in this position. But he's also known for skipping fletching just so he can have a faster castle age, which is what I was going to say originally. But apparently, Liereyy doesn't want to make me look smart. So thanks for that, Liereyy. You're cool. You're great. He's sending a lot of archers forward, though. Ooh, there's Vils over here. Will Liereyy spot this? Okay, this is Lierey's point of view. I mean, either way, Liereyy could lose Vils. He could lose Vils here. And MbL will kill that villager now. And there's still 3 villagers over there. Oh, God. MbL has the weak one pulled away. Liereyy realizes they're rather weak. This is good confidence from Liereyy. Oh, boy. Can he save her? Doink! She dead. Okay, so she's dead. MbL will end up losing the scout. Whatever. Lierey's still knocking on the door. MbL still hasn't clicked up. But considering he's researched wheelbarrow and Liereyy has not. And MbL will get handcart for free in the next stage. If MbL can just find the food to click up, I think MbL will be in a very good position. But again, another game where MbL is going to be way behind a castle age. And what the... Oh, wow. This villager's very weak in there for MbL. And the men-at-arms get through. MbL only has a few skirmishers here to defend. And MbL forced into a tower. Massive advantage for Liereyy now. Is it massive? I think that's a tower where you make it because you think the fight's 50-50. I think MbL with upgrades could easily take out Lierey's force soon. MbL's now missing gold to click up. He's missing 25 food to click up. He just needed a little bit more. Ah, man, and there he goes. Now he's clicked up, but he will have to defend big time against Liereyy. I'm wondering what Lierey's eco is going to look like because he is lacking villagers compared to MbL, but his military count's looking healthy. 12 ranged units to work with, and even spearmen and men-at-arms mixed in. Late Bird, hello. He says, IT90, are the qualifiers for Hidden Cup 4 also in February, or are they shortly before the main event? Kind of both. So it's a 64-player bracket, and that bracket is finalized within the next 24 hours. I will have a video on that showing you the bracket. I'll talk about it, talk about predictions, because only 8 players of the 64 can qualify. But yeah, that's going to start officially this coming week and last 3 weeks. So for the round of 64, I cannot cast all of them because it's so many games. But I will cast some of them and make sure they're structured so you guys know when to watch them and where. And the other thing, as Lierey's going this way, and he's getting elite skirm too. The final 2 rounds will be structured on weekends, most likely. So it'll be best of 7s because winning, it's basically like a tournament in and of itself, right? There's some big names in it. Names that we'll talk about here in a bit, but there'll be best of 7s, and hopefully, like, MbL will co-cast 1 or 2 with me, Liereyy will co-cast 1 or 2 with me, Harrow will co-cast 1 or 2 with me. I'm going to try and have the top 8 who are already in the main event co-casting their sets. Be cool to see them talking about the competition. All right, so I wouldn't say it's ideal, MbL's position, right? These Vikings, and how many times have we talked about Vikings being dominant? And if they just survive because of their eco. So he's going to make a few towers here. Lierey's done a great job pressuring all these wood lines because MbL doesn't have good access to wood right now. I wonder if Lierey's tempted to dive that tower. He's not. And oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, you're kidding me. Look at this. If MbL would have just scouted this, he could have killed all of those villagers. So yeah, Lierey's really aggressive, but MbL's been able to find some success with defensive plays on this map. And it excites me too because Vikings was never picked in Hidden Cup 3. I maintained even then that civs other than Indians could be strong, but a lot of players would go for Indians. And you can kind of see how Lierey's eco run out, or he was relying so heavily on the shorefish and the deer, and he didn't invest into farms, and now he has 5 on food. I also think we've seen reward from both players scouting. Liereyy has rewarded himself with some good scouting, but MbL, he's done the same. And in this instance, anyways, if he would have scouted a bit better, he would have found those lumberjacks we just talked about at Lierey's base. Very much a base trade situation, though, with the ranged units. 48 villagers versus 39 right now. Is Dow co-cast a possibility? I'm going to ask all the top 8 to co-cast with me. It comes down to scheduling when that time comes. I think Dow would be interested in doing that. I don't think Yo would be interested in doing it. I don't think Dogao would have huge interest in doing it. We'll see. And MbL just defending with skirms now. Lierey's crossbows look pretty darn useless. MbL maintains his eco lead. MbL now has a slight military lead. And Liereyy, he does have a second TC and Indian villagers are cheaper, so it's a bit easier to boom in this situation compared to other civs. I think Liereyy could do the same. It's a little awkward. Micro's needed, but I think he can defend here. When do the qualification brackets come out? I don't know if you just got here. I said it. It'll be within 24 hours. But what we can look at as Lierey's patrolling this side, just to see if MbL is going to expand to take the wood, which is so important, or maybe take the gold. Look at this. He's on the other side. But yeah, anyways, there is a Google Doc that's out, which is an unofficial ranking of the players right now, and we can look at that at least. Will Burgundians and Sicilians be playable in Hidden Cup 4? Yes. Yep, they're allowed. And the qualifiers as well, they're allowed. Of course, we had recent balance changes to them, right? It nerfed the unique unit, fixed that one bug against archers. Also, Sicilians, I think, had some recent changes too. So, I think so anyways. I could be wrong. Anyways, I basically am just going to answer yes to that question because obviously I'm working hard behind the scenes to make sure things are in a decent state. So, this game's going late, people. Look at this. Liereyy going to expand to the right side where there's stone and there's wood. MbL over here where there's gold and there's wood. MbL here where there's stone and there's wood. So if you haven't noticed, there's stone and gold on either side near the ponds, and both players realizing the importance of getting those wood lines. I see Cav upgrade coming in for Liereyy. Now, he doesn't even have horse collar or wheelbarrow yet, so I think his eco number is extremely deceiving. I don't think he'll be able to afford much. But that might mean that he's scared of skirms and wants to make camels as Indians. Burgundians have a massive bug with hand cannoneers. They did for about 2 hours, Gonkull. They did for about 2 hours after that hotfix. Just like Byzantine fire ships could destroy a dock in 2 seconds. That was also fixed. But what's sick about this map, right, is you expand and find reward on the sides, but guess what's in the middle? Tons of stone and tons of gold. So I could see someone like, if Huang plays in this, what do you think Huang's going to do on a map where all the stones and golds are like positioned in the middle? People are going to just be running around the sides of the map as Huang is taking the middle. I can't wait. Also, I would hate to be someone who is around seed 50 right now, because I think Huang is going to be around seed 22, 23-ish in the qualifying bracket. And there's a few names who are around there who are hoping they're not going to be up against Huang in a best of 3. I think it's best of 3. I really should know this, but Huang signed up for the qualifier, yeah. So, fun fact, if I were to sign up for the qualifier, I would probably be around seed 50, which would put me as one of the players to potentially play against Huang in the qualifier. I would just resign. No, I'd say, nope, I'm a caster, sorry. I'm not going to do it. I thought about it. I was going to sign up. Huang or no Huang, I've got to focus on making sure the event is shown to people. But I think in 2021, I'll probably sign up for tournaments. I'm not, involved in casting and covering and broadcasting. So it would take away, I wouldn't play at my best because I'm not preparing or practicing. So I wouldn't be able to display my quality. And then also it wouldn't be able to show the quality games to you, which is important to me. And I like what Lierey's done here. Siege Workshop on this hill seems so... makes so much sense since MbL's defending with primarily skirmishers. I do notice MbL stayed on stone, and I think in this matchup, if we could see elite berserks, it would force Indians completely out of their camels. But look at this. Lierey's showing up with camels. He says, you're not going to camp with just skirmishers. I'm making siege and I'm making camels. MbL, I think he wants to go Imperial and Berserks, but he's losing control as he's trying to get there. Is Airtug allowed to sign up? He's allowed to sign up. It doesn't mean we're going to put him in the tournament. He can type his name out if he wants to. That's no problem. What's up, Remlap? What's up, Ego? MbL's going to go up to Imp, as he would say. And yeah, the plan is definitely to castle. I just don't know where he chooses to castle. Do you want to castle this side when you're about to get Maganel pushed? On one hand, you do, because you don't want to lose the space. On the other hand, can you comfortably do it? I'm not so sure. Do you want to castle the middle, where you have a third of your eco? Do you want to castle the right side, which is currently safe? Also a third of your eco? I don't know, man. I mean, MbL could open up with Skirm Arbalest. He is making crossbowmen, so I don't think he'll go immediately into Berserks. And Liereyy, it still doesn't have Horsecollar. All the farms that he's adding, they are not going to last a long time. And he's officially reached that stage where I think, oh my god, MbL. You're crazy, dude. He's got camels and skirmishers and Maganels attacking this TC. And he's going to try and defend with one Spearman and one Maganel and I guess some towers. And he's going to drop a castle in Lierey's face. Like, if I'm going to lose my side, you're going to lose the side as well, I guess is the logic. This is so risky, though. Imagine if Liereyy had any military. He could have one Maganel and completely deny this. But it's also kind of a good move, because if you invest into a castle here, you're probably going to take some losses while you do it. So he's just, as I call him, cockroaching it up and defending in a really awkward spot. And now he's going to go for such a crazy play. This is going to be so tilting for Liereyy. Because now Lierey's got 12 villagers that he'll need to somehow save. El Webero, if you just got here, this series has just continued to get better and better here today. All 5 games are played. It's not actually a best of 5. I don't know why it says that. But it might end up looking like a best of 5 if MbL gets the win. Bracer on the way. Liereyy has to move away because of MbL's attempts there. And now I think you have to run with these villagers. The MbL is clicked. Bracer. Arbalest will complete in a bit as well. Lierey's still got a bunch of skirms with a bunch of upgrades and a bunch of camels and guess what? A bunch of Maganels. So he can buy himself some time and he can start fortifying the other area, dropping castles, towers, anything to defend. But MbL's got enough military at home to potentially hold, and he still has a force here. I don't know where that came from. Liereyy says, for now, I'll just take out your archer ranges, I guess. Again, this gets me excited because Indians was the clear #1 pick, at least in the high-level players' eyes in Hidden Cup 3. We made a few tweaks. MbL's picked freaking Vikings here. And he also played it in a completely different way. He didn't even take a lot of his deer and a lot of his shorefish in the Dark Age. And he's lost some ranges here, but he is eventually just going to clear this up. And he's all over Liereyy at the moment, who is very far away from clicking up to Imp. In fact, that TC is going to get tripped down. I think MbL has honestly just won the game. 113 vills for MbL. He's an Imp. 88 villagers for Liereyy. He's in Castle Age. Indian camels do have some extra pierce armor compared to other camels, so this can be a decent fight for Liereyy possibly. But can he respond to what else is coming? That hurt a little bit, but I don't think MbL's too worried. More ranges for MbL. Crazy game. Indians also got nerfed. They used to carry more fish and collect faster. I think the biggest thing is we removed the amount of fish. Instead of having 6, it's 2. But what's funny is, as MbL wins the game, and what an exceptional game, man. I don't think anyone really has this map figured out. I don't know if it's possible to figure out this map and know what's best. But I'm not going to say his name, but someone who's in the qualifiers messaged me literally 3 days ago and said, hey, just want to give you some feedback. The best Civ is still Indians by far on slopes. There's no question. And then another player messaged me who's also in the qualifiers and said, I'm sick of, I hate how slopes is going to be an Indians fest. And I was like, I said to them, are you sure? That's all I said. And so, again, I'm not going to call them out because there's 64 people in the qualifiers. Could be anyone. At least MbL showed here that that might not actually be the case. And there's some things to think about. But damn, wasn't this a beautiful game? I mean, Think about how this developed, even in Dark Age into Feudal Age. Liereyy was scouting the sides to see if MbL was taking the resources. Lierey's first scouted the right side, found MbL on the left side. MbL had a strategy to abandon this side. And then he eventually took this. He just didn't end up taking it till later. And he was just happy to sit behind his walls. One person went aggressive. One person went defensive. One person turned the defense into offense. The other person turned the offense into more offense. I'm very happy with how that went down. So I'll say this, and YouTube, you're going to get sick of this. I'm sorry. Please don't hate me. March 18th through the 21st. I will give you information. I will give you games for the qualifiers themselves, because the qualifiers are important to see who else makes it to the main event of Hidden Cup. But all you YouTubers out there who typically don't have time for streams, if you want to plan to get there, main event will be amazing, and we're just ramping up and getting hyped for it here right now. Let me go and see... Let me look at the statistics real quick. Game 5 will be on Hideout, a map that you guys are probably more familiar with, but it also is changed and tweaked going into this year. 87 units killed, 59 units lost. MbL with the better KD, but MbL with more food, wood, stone, and not gold. But I think it would have eventually been gold with the amount of control he would have had there. Vikings are such a 6-6 civ. What makes that fascinating, the fact that Vikings won there, is the fact that Vikings are also notorious for being strong on another Hidden Cup map, which is Cup. One that will not be in the qualifiers and will be one of the main event only maps. Whew. All right. These two have been starting right away. So let me see if they've started the next game already. I'll update the score. To MbL. They haven't launched yet. They're about to launch. It will be Hideout. Now, let's look at the Civ draft since we have the time. This is not the draft that you'll see throughout Hidden Cup, but I just wanted a quick and easy draft for them. So we could get... I also wanted them to draft a lot of Civilization so I could see what their line of thinking was. Okay, MbL just used Vikings and got the win. Liereyy just used Indians and lost. Aztecs and Lithuanians are the two civs remaining for Liereyy. MbL will have Teutons and Incas. It's got to be Teutons for MbL, right? Because Aztecs was the first pick for Liereyy. It's a really, really good hideout civilization, I'd say. Teutons probably a counter to that. Do you then pick Lithuanians if you feel Aztecs can't beat Teutons? And this game continues to surprise me. If you would have told me back in Hidden Cup 3 that someone would even be thinking about picking Teutons on any map with any show match or tournament, I would have said you're crazy. And here we are, and I think we're going to see Teutons. What in the world, man? Avix, welcome. He says, hello, just got here after a long electricity outage here in North Carolina. Oh, that sucks. Well, welcome back to reality. Reality being the internet, in this case. Squire, thank you for 4 months of support. George Stir, Nanohertz, thank you for the resubs. Remlap and Ego, Pass, Valley, and Johan, thank you. I'm repeating names. Also, chat, salutes and smileys. Ewi has now subbed for 2 full years. You're amazing. And thank you to Peyton Doesn't Talk also for 2 years. You're awesome. Many other people close to that. SEO hit 37 months, but like, we won't freak out again until you hit your 4 years, SEO. Just kidding. I've had some people, just a few people complaining that there's no arena in this tournament and no Black Forest in this tournament. What type of tournament do you think this is? We want aggression. We want craziness. Well, not on all the maps, right? I wanted a mix. And I like Hideout because there's more possibilities when compared to something like Arena. Capture Age. Here we are, guys. So, come on, game. Come on, here we go. Perfect. So, Capture Age is going to catch up to speed here in a bit. We have Liereyy in the blue. Liereyy is playing as the Aztecs here. This is game 5 in... Well, we might as well call it a best of 5 now. But going into the day, we actually just said all 5 games would be played. And MbL has Teutons. MbL is in the green, and Teutons match up quite nicely against Aztecs, though Aztecs I still consider to be a very strong civilization. Do you guys want to know why it was 5 games played instead of a best of 7? Do you want to hear what happened? Just to give you an idea of the confidence of one of the players here. All right, so I contacted MbL, and I contacted Liereyy. I said, let's do a best of 7. MbL said, can we make it a best of 5? Just in case I lose really fast. I said, no. I don't want a best of 5. It's $200 sponsorship by Dansong. That's not fair to the sponsor, right? He said, okay. And I said, how about we compromise and do 5 games played? Because I needed to guarantee that he wasn't just going to run away if he was getting destroyed. He basically said that he thought that he was going to lose 3-0 today in our conversation. And I'm like, MbL, why do you think that? You're a good player. It's so funny. So I'll tell a story since it's Hideout and we have a lot of time. I assume we're going to see some fast castling here. So do you guys remember MbL versus Doubt in Red Bull? So it was MbL versus Doubt in Red Bull. And MbL picked Burmese in game number 1. And it was Burmese against Tatars. And I was like, while I'm casting that, thinking, why would he pick Burmese, right? Well, after that, I went to MbL's teammate and friend stream, Hart, who's also playing in the qualifiers, by the way. And I was listening to Hart talk about it. And apparently, Hart and MbL were talking. And MbL said, I'm going to pick Burmese in game 1 against Doubt. Because in the previous set, Doubt picked Franks, and Burmese would be great against Franks. And Hart said, Doubt's not dumb. He's not going to pick the same Civ in game 1 again. Don't pick Burmese, because if you're up against an Archer Civ, you're going to die. And guess what? Doubt didn't pick Franks. Doubt picked Tatars, and MbL struggled against Archers. And Hart goes on these rants, and I'm going to try and do my best Hart impression here. He's like, freaking MbL, man. I'm going to do the PG version. Freaking MbL, man. I can't believe it. He's a good player. He gets to all these tournaments, and he's trying to counterpick. You don't need to counterpick. You win. You're a good player. You don't need to counterpick. Like, he started going on and on about how MbL gets in his own freaking head all the time. He just needs to play the freaking game. I thought it was so funny. So anyways, MbL thought he was going to get destroyed in this series. And here he is. The score is 2-2. That my Hart voice is the same as my MbL voice. I really only have one voice I can do. So it's not that great, but they are very similar in some ways. Okay, so let me break down what we've done differently with this year's Hideout. And forgive me because there's a bunch of different versions of Hideout. There's the DE version, there's tournament versions. But I believe what we had with Hidden Cup 3's Hideout was we had 5-tile main gold, 2 4-tile golds per player, right? And then we had 1 neutral gold per player. This year what we have is we have the same gold. So 5, 4, and 4. 3-tile gold, 3-tile gold. And then you can see over here, 5, 4, and 4. And then his 3-tile golds are over here. So basically, we increased the amount of extra golds because there was an issue with balance. Because if there's only 2 neutrals, sometimes one person kind of gets 2 of them if one's here and one's, I don't know, over here. And I also feel like the important thing about Hideout is incentivizing taking map control. And if you incentivize taking map control by spreading out golds and stones, then it's more reason to push. So that's the deal. And also there's a small there's a small chance that players might also be close together. So they're pretty far apart because of the way the wood line's situated right now. But I think 15%, 20% of the time, they might actually be very close. Like, let's say this clump of wood is removed, and they can just walk around and tower rush each other, if they want to. Hope that makes sense. I just wanted to explain the breakdown. If adjustments are needed within the qualifiers or after the qualifiers, we will make adjustments to maps. But we feel like we're in a good spot with the maps right now. And both players just pushed in their deer. Not too much else to talk about. It looks like this will be fast castle. Did Liereyy not see his geese? He did actually see them. Or at least he scouted part of them, so I'm not sure why he didn't take them. Is this extra deer? Wait, am I crazy or did MbL... I thought MbL pushed in his deer. Was he not doing that, Chad? I didn't actually pay attention to if he was eating them. MbL's going up already. That's weird. Maybe he didn't take any. We'll have to look into that because there shouldn't be more of them. He did take all of them? They're extra? Okay. We have extra? Ah, okay. There's extra over here for Liereyy. I mean, it's not like it's realistic for him to push them. We'll take a look into that. That'd be a big deal if like, in rare situations where you might want to build a TC over here or something, but that's fair. So there's extra over here. Not a biggie. The problem with Hideout when it comes to scripting is that we have so much time to talk about the maps. Like, gameplay matters so much more than the maps, but there's nothing else to talk about. It's like arena casting. We start looking at the shape of the wood lines and the stones and not too much else to talk about, but looks like MbL is going to go for some map control, which is very arena style. He's got a... Okay, he's going to make a barracks, and I think he wants to hide the fact he's going for the barracks, which is why he deleted that. And he might go for a few scouts here. He's actually gone up quite early for a fast castle. And he's getting double bit axe and he's getting horse collar. So he wants his... Don't let that farm complete. Okay, good job. He wants to have a lot of farms with Teutons, and they are very cheap. I don't like the build, though. I think that what he's doing makes sense if you go up on 21 or 22 pop. Max does that stuff a lot, with Slavs especially. Here he's gone up to feudal age at around the same time as Liereyy, pretty much. And he's just going to stay in feudal age. I don't love. Melee are never feasible. Melee could be decent on this map. People probably won't use Melee here, but Melee could be decent on this map. We saw a lot of Britons and a lot of Khmer in Hidden Cup 3. We also saw Cumans, but I knew when I saw Cumans in Hidden Cup 3 main event that it was ACCM. Because ACCM was picking Cumans so much back then. We also saw Spanish, and I knew when I saw Spanish on this map that it was Vivi. I was like, that's got to be freaking Vivi, man. And truthfully, if Vivi makes it in again, it wouldn't surprise me if he goes for it again. Lierey's on his way up, and Liereyy... What's he got here? It looks like Lierey's going to go for a monastery for relics, but it's not like he's going to do anything too crazy offensively. He does have 5 on gold, though. I think we'll see a monastery. So there's relics here. There's 2 relics, and then we've got 2 relics over here on MbL's side. We also only have 4 relics on this map because it's very hard to have the relics be fairly positioned otherwise. Because with the way this map's situated, you're almost always going to have one closer to one player, and we felt like, yeah, let's give extra golds on the map, and then the relics will evenly distribute. I thought about putting a relic in the middle, like right here, right in the middle of the wood line, but I thought that was too gimmicky and too silly, you know? Like, oh, I'll pick Celts to chop wood faster, get to the relics. What's in the left corner? What? What is this? Never mind. What? I don't know if that's supposed to be there, man. So much for that. I'll have to look into things. We might need to push an update. It's like the relic really wanted to be on the map, but didn't want anyone to know it was there. The relic was embarrassed. Like, hey guys, it's like the third wheel in the group, you know? You got the two couples. The 2 relics on either side, and then the 5th guy's like, can I come out? Can I hang out? Thanks. Shiny says, did you find out who the Smurf with the new account was who signed up for Hidden Cup 4 qualifiers? We honestly don't have to because they're not going to have high enough rating to get in. So whoever it is, it's not good enough to get in. At least last I checked. So second TC for Liereyy. Again, I'm not hugely impressed with MbL's build here, but he's adding scouts. And honestly, actually I take it back. Adding scouts and having this type of an FC time and being able to go 3 TCs when he gets there is pretty sick. So he's going to add scouts to take out any eagles and to take out any monks, as this is pretty much a boom and get relics situation. There was only 5 relics. I didn't see this one. T90, what rating is required to get into Hidden Cup 4? I think the cutoff is just over 2K1. And MbL just lost a villager there. So I think you have to be 2110 or 2115 right now, something along those lines. Because I know when I checked, 2150 or 2160 would put you around 50th seed. And we've got Eagles over here. So 2 TCs for Liereyy. He gains the Vil lead, but watch what MbL can do with Teutons. Boom, town center. Boom, town center. And he's getting his wood and his farm upgrade. And he has enough farms to keep the TCs running. So I think MbL is going to catch up. It's awkward with Teutons because you don't get light cav, but they do get extra melee armor. And I see MbL sent another villager this way. Maybe he wants to house wall out here. But it would be a very MbL thing to try and go for a forward siege push behind a boom. And a very good hideout thing. And look at this. I think that was a monk. Let's investigate. Oh, yep. Yeah, that's definitely a monk. MbL said, no relic for you. Also very hard to convert Teuton siege, Teuton anything, because they have that conversion resistance, which is why I think MbL picking Teutons was a sick move with his draft. Keep an eye on the Vil counts. I expect it to be close. Forward blacksmith for MbL. I guess he forgot to make a blacksmith. And you for whatever reason, need a blacksmith before you can make a siege workshop. So he's just going to make it forward. Watch there be some point in this game where MbL needs an important upgrade and he loses his blacksmith right before the upgrade comes in. I'm calling it now, okay? You heard it here first, this chat's been saying all day. At 40 villagers versus 41 now, and you could argue that MbL's economy is a lot more efficient. But it is very even, Liereyy with the 3rd TC now. But you see what's crazy about this? Liereyy didn't take any map control. He's got golds over here to control. MbL, he has golds and stones on either side to control too. So this isn't just a boom map. It's boom into, take some control. MbL now getting bloodlines, and I think he needs to switch up how he's engaging with this. And the second that Liereyy saw what was here, he ran back and also is going to keep his monks behind his walls. Now, normally what Aztecs would do against any other civ doing this is they would send a bunch of villagers to gold, they would research redemption, and then with redemption, your monks can convert enemy siege. So Mangonel push would not work well. However, you can't, because Teutons resist conversion, you can try redemption, but more than likely you're not going to be able to convert the siege. So I don't know, like, do you go pikeman here? He's going to add a barracks. Do you go pikeman, monk, eagle? Is a really strong position for Teutons to be in. Not to mention if your attack doesn't work, and there's a pikeman upgrade for Liereyy, then you're at least pretty far away from your base. Oh god. That could have been rough for Liereyy. I mean, this is going to be rough for Liereyy. Not even sure that having 3 pikemen is going to change things too much, but MbL doesn't need to dive in. He's only got 2 knights. He's even going to add his own monastery, maybe to convert things back to his side. Maybe just to heal, both of which would be smart, I'd say. 52 villagers versus 58. The scouts come in. The scouts see there's pikemen now, so MbL has an idea. MbL with 4 TCs. 4 TC boom. That's not easy to manage while also attacking. And now redemption's coming in for Liereyy. So this basically comes down to how quick these conversions end up coming in. Conversions with non-Teutons is, or without Teutons is also pretty helter-skelter. And there is a min-max range on that. Or min-max time, not range, sorry. And so sometimes conversions come in quick, sometimes it takes a long time, but now you have the Teuton resistance to think about. I don't know the exact numbers on the min-max range for conversions, but there is a min-max range on conversion. And I also don't know what that would change into with Teutons. I just know it exists, and MbL doesn't have that many knights right now. He really doesn't have that many knights, and the Scorpions and Mangonels didn't get very good hits. I'll show you the HP, though. Yeah, I think Liereyy will be happy with what just went down. Maybe if MbL adds another stable, this villager has to save. Be careful, the bear's after her. Get a few more knights out, it could be good, but if MbL wanted control in this area, he might not gain it. I think this villager will die. MbL just running around right now, and Liereyy probably letting out a sigh of relief because he knew how crazy this could get. Now, what also is pretty cool is he could just send a monk out here and start trying to convert the siege workshop. But he's got to be careful. I think that MbL is definitely going to send a few more units forward. But then again, I'm not seeing it, so who knows, man? Ting, 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 ting. The siege workshop slowly going down. There's a lot of scorpions in there. I'm surprised that MbL is committing to Scorpions and he's not committing to a few more Knights. 3 or 4 more Knights would have really helped here and would still really help. Here, there's some monks from Liereyy. There's a relic to get. And I guess he's thinking if I take 3 monks with me, I won't lose them all. And now MbL pops out with the Scorpions. But maybe Liereyy could have used the monks here. Then again, we talked about it. Maybe not the most helpful. And MbL says, guess what? I can convert too. Wow. I mean, there's no reason for MbL to stop pushing here now. He's got Scorpions. He's got Knights. Liereyy will bring this relic back. Liereyy sitting with just 1 relic. But he should get this one if this game continues. So he'd have 3. I don't think anyone's ever going to find this relic. Which is kind of how I thought it was going to be anyway. So I guess that's fair. Hidden cup, hidden relic. You know, same difference, right? And now Leary's imping. What do you do in imp as Aztecs? I see ranges. So he wants to go Arbs. Arbs is actually your best option, I'd say. Because... Supply... What? Supply... MbL. Supplies? Normally I'm like, supplies! And it's fun, but... Game 5, he's expecting Pikeman Eagle. He's going supplies. If he goes Longswordsman, which is what you would assume is going to happen... Based on the amount of upgrades he's getting for infantry... Arbalest would counter that. So I think this is a misread from MbL. A big misread at that. See Liereyy try and get a conversion. There is no way this ever gets converted. MbL will roll away. It's Teutons. Not going to happen. Now, on the bright side for MbL, he does have control. And I think one thing that's smart to do... I was just going to say it, I swear. I was just going to say it, I swear. It was game sense. I didn't see it. It's just stonewall behind it. Okay, chat? I swear, I was going to say it. You stonewall the sides... And if you stonewall the sides, then if you start losing control, they run into walls. Is he actually making them? If you research supplies, which is 150 food and it's 100 gold, it normally implies you're going to make a lot of infantry units. I mean, if he pushes right now, over the next 30 seconds, it could be good. Because Liereyy might not expect it. And there's also a lot of Scorpions out there. There's monks out there. Liereyy even making a mix of skirms here. Yeah, MbL will see the crossbow and he won't be very happy with his decision to research supplies. Well, he'll have the castle there. He's now going to go up to Imp. And he has the villager lead currently. Big thing to point out now is that Liereyy, as he tries to convert the Scorpions, he does not have... enough stone for castle. So he has to wait for the castle, drop the castle, then wait for Trebs. MbL will be an imp by then. And he will be walled up. Almost, anyways. T90, is your overlay still being developed besides the official capture age? So, man, I've signed so many NDAs. I don't know if I can say things. I can tell you that we're working on getting something special for Hidden Cup. For the main event of Hidden Cup. But the old overlay, so the old qualifier overlay, as you can see the importance of walling. Think this will be enough for MbL? Can you imagine how tilting this is going to be for him if it's not, though? That's not enough. These units are going to get through. Oh, man, that's so frustrating. Like, he had the game plan down. And then these units will end up breaking it. But anyways, the version we used last time was a mod, and that's no longer being developed. So, MbL trying to make anything, really, to keep these units out because he doesn't have an answer to it right now. And man, I'm tilted for him. It would have been perfect. He would have had the walls. He would have had the forward position. He couldn't be trebbed down. And now, he has to, oh, God, no. If Liereyy runs in here, this is a doubt castle. Quick, get treadmill crane. Because you need to build faster than that, my friend. Honestly, that might end up going up. He's probably just going to click around with his vills. Yeah, that'll end up going up. If he re-walls this, then the army will be trapped. Is a castle here as well? This is weird. Castle here, so Liereyy can't really break in. I think we can all agree that that was probably avoidable for MbL, and he still needs to fully wall this side. But he's got a lot to focus on, and he's now researching crenellations. Now, crenellations gives Teuton castles extra range. And if you get Bodkin Arrow and crenellations, which MbL is doing, your castles will have 13 range. I believe with 13 range, that would then range this wood line. And it would certainly range some of this force. But I don't know what else MbL is really going to do. So I think he's really got to accept that he's going to lose this area soon. Liereyy with 155 pop, MbL with 157. MbL with 2 hours of idle time. Liereyy with 23 minutes of villager idle time. And Leary's happy to just camp on these farms and idle more eco. A lot of the idle time stemmed from... this is tilting me, chat. This is bothering me so much. MbL, don't let it happen again. Imagine if Liereyy sneaks through and builds some buildings back there. Yeah, a lot of the idle time stems from this very moment, where MbL's got so many vills, but they're stuck inside town centers. And this castle, he's out of stone now, which means he'll lose this castle, and also does not have the stone to fully wall this. Liereyy, just run in. What's 2 hours compared to 2 days? That's true. Oh, man, this force did so much. He's using Trebs against Arbs and Pikemen right now. That is such a frustrating one. Now he, with his AI army composition, is going to run home. Fortified wall was the play. Onager, probably a good play here, too. But Liereyy has a lot of time to think about what he wants to do next. And the villagers are in. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Ah. No. Oh, no. Oh, he's going to think he's fine. Liereyy could go... I mean, even an Eagle raid would make sense in this spot. Even though Elite Eagles is probably not what you want to do. Maybe MbL will spot this, though. He's making outposts. He still isn't walling this. But it's because he's so focused. And, you know, he's got this to deal with as Liereyy runs underneath the town center. That's unique. Okay. There's an Onager, or soon-to-be Onager here. Yeah, MbL might notice that as Liereyy is thinking go Eagle Warrior. Well, Liereyy... Oh my god, this isn't even re-walled! I'm losing my mind here! I mean, you just break through anyways with the trebuchets now. That's the issue. Here are the Onagers. Liereyy has gotten so much value, bought so much time with this force. They have seen it all. And I feel like this TC is not shooting arrows for MbL, but okay, finally, we'll deal with that. As Liereyy is going to make barracks in the corner. And he's about to have a lot of Eagle upgrades. I think from here on out, what's going to happen is... This is just going to snowball and snowball and snowball. MbL's in a constant state of... Well, I mean, he's got 146 vills, right? He's in a constant state of defending to go with Siege Trebs and eventually tech switch. And whereas Liereyy, he's making MbL guess on each side. MbL has to react here as Liereyy is microing very well. And then Liereyy will just switch in with the Eagles on the other side. The confidence from Liereyy to fight next to this castle and take out villagers as their siege here is insane. Whoop! He has to be careful about the castle because of crenellations, but takes that out. The Man-at-Arms! Supplies finally pays off. Yeah, that was also misread from MbL. Something we'll look back on and say probably one of many reasons he might have struggled in this game. But he's actually getting longsword now, so he's going to go Onager champion, maybe. Well, he sees the barracks, so he needs something here, and he knows that. There is an issue, though, and the issue is that Eagles are significantly faster. They can still raid, which is what they've set out to do. You ever see a game where you could tell the line of thinking was there for the player, but the execution was just a little bit off? This is definitely one of those games. And it's frustrating because we could see how this game could have developed for MbL, and now he's playing catch-up. And I'm sure it's frustrating for him as well. He runs out of stone and will lose this castle to the next Treb shot. Oh my god! He will still lose it, though. Oh, that's so unfortunate. He also had to delete the bombard cannon because he was afraid it would get converted there. Now, fun fact. Prior to, recent times, trebuchets would not do damage with that final hit if the trebuchet was destroyed while the shot was in the air. So, 5 years ago... MbL's castle would still be standing. When did they make that change? Did they make that change on DE? Or did they make that change prior to? I forget. But it was somewhat recently. It was like definitely during my career, if you could call it that. Eagles, the excellent rating tool that they are, just flying by. Teutonic Knights! It was only on DE? Gotcha, okay. Oh! Juicy attack round from MbL. Alright. He's losing so many vills, though. He's really created... he's created a lot of vills in this game, but he's going to be in a constant state of losing villagers as he creates more of them. And in this case, these are gold villagers, and he's losing access to that gold. And they have gold in their hands when they die as well. Hasn't reacted to that. Liereyy continuing to try and snowball some type of a push. And what I like about Liereyy is he's never letting up. It's constant aggression. Bringing the trebs through. It is a little dangerous, though, but Liereyy might realize that his units are pretty cheap. Is also trying to use the trebs to cut through here, I think. Ting, 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 ting. Weird one, man. Is this too risky for Liereyy to run in or what? I'm not too sure. 126 villas now for MbL. Look at his idle time skyrocket. He's got so many idle villagers. 50 idols. So he definitely has the worst economy as far as working eco goes. And he abandons the middle. And he's defending with bombard cannons, monks, and onagers. But it's all so slow. And Lierey's happy to just run right through. And, oh, look at this. Well, I guess, okay. In the end, the villagers will make it out. But so many are not right now. Now, MbL's dealing with the barracks, but that was more than worth it for Liereyy. The success he's having on the right side all stems from what just happened on the left. We call MbL the cockroach of AoE because he never dies. Do you guys have confidence that he can still do this? See Liereyy prepping onagers, or siege workshops, excuse me, on the left, so he'll probably try and go rams. Yeah, people saying no, I think that's a fair guess. I probably should have asked that question 10 minutes ago. He's got 67 vills idle. 69 villagers idle. He really can't afford much. Honestly, at this point, if you're Liereyy, go for your own champions. Oh, big onager shot. Nice job, MbL. But that was great play from Liereyy. He split, and MbL actually deleted it. But yeah, nothing happened there. And Siege Workshop. I mean, these will be converted. MbL needs to get rid of these. You don't want to donate Siege Workshops to the enemy here. Alright, one's already been donated. Lierey's like, thank you for the donation. We call these Siege Workshops Twitch Primes because they're free. All you need is a monk. And I think MbL is going to tap out here. I'm not sure what's going on here, but I think he's either typing out GG or he's trying to deal with too many different spots at once. The defense from Liereyy with that push was so good, and I think MbL was expecting, as we see more villagers run around, Liereyy to be more worried about that Castle Age push. He was expecting Liereyy to invest into full-on Pikeman, Monk, and Siege. And he just didn't call it properly. The game sense wasn't there, and maybe MbL could have done more to scout it or something. Here again, Liereyy with Arbs against Onagers. Not something that a lot of players here would have confidence in. Sorry, Twitch chat. And Liereyy just making quick work of 3 Onagers and 2-handed swordsmen and bombard cannons. Do you want to know why you don't see Onager that frequently at the high level? It's because high-level players, they just breeze past Onagers like it's nothing. I think he lost that castle foundation. Maybe he deleted it, though. I don't know. He has a lot of stone there, Liereyy. The Eagles run in now to take out the bombard cannons. They might not. But now, Liereyy has rams that will come from the middle of MbL's base. I'd like to see him use the ram against the Onager here. Oh, there it is. Yes. And then the Arbs. Okay, he loses a bunch of them. Still takes out the Onager. Does it matter, though? When the Aztec player has 3 relics, when the Aztec player is pressuring on this side now. Why the Teutons pick, though? There's nothing wrong with Teutons here, Captain. Don't take this out on Teutons. I think Teutons were I think it was a masterclass civilization pick if you're expecting Aztecs on hideout. Teutons are sick in post-imp if you hold the position and get the walls down. And that one moment where MbL wasn't able to get the walls down has really hurt him, and he's been responding ever since. Like, if you've ever seen Aztecs versus Teutons on Arena, for example, which is a similar map to Hideout, but less complicated, Teutons own. If Liereyy wouldn't have picked Aztecs in his draft, MbL would have never picked Teutons. But I think he picked Teutons trying to get the counter, and unfortunately just couldn't do all the right steps. Still got to play the game the right way, and you still have to outplay the opponent even if you have a civ advantage. Well, MbL, it's the last game in the best of 5. This might be PTSD for him. I didn't think about that because March of 2020, Hidden Cup 3, best of 5 quarterfinal in the Hidden Cup main event, he lost a very long Hideout game against Dogao, and then Dogao went to the semifinals against the Viper. Of course, we didn't know it was those players at that time, but I think we had MbL picked. I think Viper thought that Dogao was Hera when he played him, I think, and viewers definitely didn't know that the semifinalist was Dogao, so... Oh man, big shots. One of the favorite things that, or my favorite things we did for Hidden Cup 3 was after the players played their games, we had them tell the admin who they thought they were playing. Because in Hidden Cup 1 and 2, the players were just like, oh yeah, I knew who it was. You know, I knew who it was. And then I'm like, well, prove it this time. And I think, I have to pull up the stats, but I think 50% of the time, players were able to get it right, and 50% of the time, they were wrong. MbL's not pushing back here. He's really not. It doesn't seem like Lierey's killing that much, because MbL doesn't have that much to kill. That's the honest truth of the matter. MbL's at 82 pop. It's a lot easier to get a lot of kills when someone has 150 pop, like MbL had earlier. Oh, yeah! And then... and then... We thought we knew who Doubt was simply because the one player guessed Viper when Doubt 3-0'd someone in round 1. Like, someone 3-0'd or 3-1'd in round 1 and then guessed that they beat Viper. And we're like, that has to be Doubt. That has to be Doubt who would say that, yeah, he beat Viper. It was Fire. Yeah. Doubt beat Fire. And he's like, yeah, I beat Viper. He knew it wasn't Viper. He was just trolling. That was funny. Good times, man. MbL, you still think you have a chance, dude? Enemy pikemen in your base. Enemy siege workshops that used to be yours in your base. Castles all throughout your base. I mean, I think Liereyy needs to finish him off. Liereyy has 68 on wood? That's a lot. He needs more farms. He needs more on gold. But yeah, still seems to be in a very good position. I mean... I'd only think it was possible for MbL if he had more reasonable population. He does still have some access to gold and whatnot, but I'm not sure what that gives him. Probably Teutonic Knights and probably two-handed swordsmen. Liereyy, don't throw this. MbL denies this castle for now. And play to the last villager. Well, if this was quarterfinal again in a big tournament, I would understand it. In MbL's eyes, he plays to win. He rarely gives up. And he's honestly getting good kills. He's even getting a counterattack in here. Liereyy, are you here? 59 on wood now, so he's adding farms. He's mixing in skirms. You know, if Aztecs run out of gold, they do struggle in general, but they... Like, Teutons are trash killers with Teutonic Knights and their champions. So, is there a chance for MbL? Okay, MbL just hosted the stream. Dude. We're just... Okay, it was a 3-second spoil. I was just talking about how MbL might have a chance, and then it's like, MbL has hosted the stream. It's like, what? Well, MbL, I hope you enjoyed the games. There was honestly an amazing show match. And we got to see so many different things in this show match as well. Game number 1, we got to see the lames that MbL loves. Salutes in chat for MbL, by the way. And his viewers, of course. Game number 2, Liereyy continued his dominance. But game 3 and 4, perhaps the most exciting of the show match were the ones that MbL won. And this game as well was just sick. I think in this game, MbL going supplies came down to him expecting Liereyy to go for Castle Age Pike push. And then he definitely, I think he realized as well, like, oh shoot, that might not be a good idea. Maybe I need to get Imp. The walling was the right thought, but he couldn't complete the walls in time on either side. And I think even if MbL allows that one army in on this side, I think if he's stonewalled on this side and Liereyy doesn't sneak Eagles, MbL can win this game, right? Because he had a big boom, and he had a lot of eco on this left side. The issue was he was getting pushed on the right and dealing with that, and then he got raided on the left with Eagles. Bombard cannons, trebs, champions, two-handed swordsman, all that stuff. He could have used that to defend against Lierey's composition. The issue was that Liereyy got through. Okay, let's go to the statistics on that map, and that was a fun little show match. 372 kills, very even KD. Liereyy did have a lot more military units, though, 82. And we'll look at the timeline in a second, but I think the timeline was super deceiving because MbL had so much idle time there. More food for MbL, but behind in wood, stone, and gold. And big time in the gold. But yeah, considering he had like 30-40% of his eco idle at this stage, it looks like Liereyy was even further ahead than I thought it would show.